What's going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Because Sem requested it, I cut the timer shortly. Sometimes it's needed the full 5 minutes for me to sort of get everything ready, but I've been standing here for the last 4.5 minutes, ready to go live, so I figured we would just jump into it. Yeah, happy Wednesday. There are a lot of faces here. I see Alien, Nice, Luke, Thomas, CRS1, DC's in the house, nice and early. Skydown, C Senor, Eggy said his dad's watching. Hello, Eggy and Eggy's pops. Polaris, Luke, I might have said, Emad, hello, G-Funny's here. Yeah, I'm excited. This last week I feel like not a lot has happened and a ton have happened as well. For anyone that doesn't know, last Friday, I was a guest on Nero 3D's stream, which was a ton of fun. We've been talking about doing some sort of collaborative stream for probably like 2 months now. So to have it materialize, he had me as a guest on his sort of Friday night hangout, and it was supposed to be 2 hours, that's what he said initially, but it went for 3 hours because I couldn't stop talking. And I honestly think that we probably could have gone on longer, but it was a ton of fun. So if anybody didn't get a chance to catch that, something fell. We're off to a good start. If anyone didn't get a chance to catch that, definitely check it out. It was a lot of fun. We talked about all sorts of like getting into 3D printing, Revo stuff, Voron stuff, and pretty much everything in between. So that was a really good time. As far as also, hey Tony, as far as like 3D printing news, we talked a little bit about the merger between Ultimaker and MakerBot that happened. Anyone that hasn't seen also, Prusa officially announced acquisition of Printed Solid, which is a company, gosh, I wanna say they're based out of Maryland, but don't quote me on it, and which is pretty exciting. So I felt, they announced a couple of months ago that Printed Solid was going to be Prusa's sort of US distributor for education and government, so sort of like purchase order purchasing. And so it almost felt like the next step was to be offering 3D printers from Prusa to the regular consumer slash hobbyist at some point. I don't know that I saw the full acquisition happening, but it's pretty sweet. According to the fairly short article, Printed Solid will still maintain the Jesse line. It'll kind of be a separate thing, and they'll still be selling all of the third-party, non-Prusa, non-Printed Solid things, but they are expanding, and it looked like they said in Q4 they're hoping to have the ability to, it seemed like ship Prusa products slash printers to the hobbyist slash consumer, which is sick because I got my first Prusa last November, and it was probably 45-ish days from ordering to delivery, and then I had to pay $50 or $60 in shipping, so hopefully it will help with all that stuff as well. So, oh, Delaware, okay, cool. I know there's somewhere east, I just didn't know exactly where. What's going on, Do It? So yeah, as far as today, I wanted to have a sort of wrap up of the Switchwire because we sort of finished the assembly on stream. The last thing we did was it was like a 6.5 hour stream prior to the 1,000 subscriber giveaway, and we flashed Clipper, we got the machine to home, and then I ended the stream because I was exhausted. And since then, I have done quite a bit to it. Obviously, the enclosure is on here, and I've done some printing with it, so I kind of wanted to just talk a little bit about that. For anyone that doesn't know, like there will be a full Switchwire video on the regular ModBot channel where I sort of summarize the experience of the build, my thoughts on the printer, some of the specs, things like that. But for anyone that's been watching sort of the journey, I did want to touch on that a little bit, which we will do in a bit. I also just want to get a print going, talk a little bit about the V0.1 that we're going to be tearing down and rebuilding. I got a package in that I ordered last week from Fabrico with a bunch of mods for this, so we'll crack it open and take a look at that. There's sort of a lot of things going on. Yeah, so I guess before we do anything, I did set up cameras a little bit differently. So we have the sort of standard one. Someone said that the lighting is a bit brighter. Hey Lisa, hey JP. The other, last week when me and Nero did like sort of a test call on Wednesday, I finally was looking at his video compared to mine, and I was like, your video is so much brighter than mine, and we're using the same camera. So I spent some time on settings, and the picture quality should look much brighter than it was before. When I'm shooting for regular video footage, I shoot in a very dark, flat profile because I edit it, which doesn't look so good for streaming. So hopefully it looks a lot better now. I am going clicky, Sem, I am going clicky. Printing a giant cat. I did show Erin the cat afterwards, and she thought it was pretty funny. I also printed another cat the other day as well. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get a print going on the Switchwire. I have a sort of front and center camera for the Switchwire. So we're gonna do ABS because so far that's all I've printed on it, and that's honestly primarily what I'm gonna use this for, is like a dedicated ABS machine. But let's first, let's figure out what spool we're gonna print with. I got a bunch of Polylite ABS/ASA. This was not sponsored filament. I paid for this a couple of months, probably 2 months ago now. But on that note, Polymaker is sponsoring a spool. Anyone that missed it last week, we're officially sponsored by Polymaker. So they agreed every single week to do a spool giveaway internationally. And as far as I know, all the PLAs are game. I think the ABSs are probably fine, and PETGs as well. So we will be doing a giveaway for that a little bit later on. Hey, what's up? Fabrico's in the house. Ray is here. What's going on? Rod, Salman. For anybody, oh, I forgot. There's so many topics I want to cover really quickly. This morning, Joel, telling the 3D printing nerd, was doing a live stream from Rapid. And anyone that doesn't know what Rapid is, it's basically a massive manufacturing trade show that's in Detroit every single year. I don't think they had it last year, or maybe the year before. They might have had it last year because of the pandemic, but they have it going on right now. And so he did a 2-hour live stream today interviewing pretty much exclusively industrial manufacturers of industrial sized 3D printers. And it was a really awesome stream. Granted, like, the technology price point is way out of the scope of anything I will ever get in here. But the cool thing is desktop 3D printing and sort of home 3D printing tends to, like, technology sort of trickles downwards. So it's cool seeing what's going on up there, because it might be 2 years, 5 years, or even 10 years from now, but often a lot of that tech does make its way down to a more affordable package. So if anyone hasn't seen that, I think he ended the stream about 15 minutes ago or so, but it's definitely very cool, and I watched it just about all morning. So let's take a look at, I'll let everyone decide on the color we want to print with. So we've got ASA. This is just white ASA. I don't know how well you'll be able to see colors, but I will read them off. We have got, this is PETG, we're not printing with that. We have got a black ABS. We've got some cool colors too. I think maybe we'll do a colored one. We've got, this is a fun one, Army Green ASA. Can you see this if I put it up here? Yeah, you can. I don't want to put too much weight on the acrylic. Army Green ASA, I won't take this out. We've got gray, we've got a purple ABS, and we've got a red. I'd say purple, red, or green. What are we thinking? Okay, I see two reds. I see two reds, red. I think we'll do red. Teal, I don't have teal. The red looks really cool. I haven't opened it up, but in general, Polylite or Polymaker has really vivid colors. So let's bust this open. Let me get these out of the way. The ABS printing I've done in the Switchwire hasn't been super stinky. I mean, part of it's because it's enclosed. I might end up adding a carbon filter like the, oh, why is my brain farting right now? The Nevermore, the Nevermore filter. I might end up adding that to the Switchwire at some point, but it hasn't been that bad. I actually haven't, I haven't reached out to Zombie. I haven't reached out to Polymaker to send me any filament as part of like our sponsorship. This is all stuff that I had purchased ahead of time. Let's see if I go overhead. I really like Polymaker as a brand, and I've been using them on and off for years. So I have like 8 of their spools brand new in the box. I've been waiting for sort of a cool occasion to print with. Let's see. Nevermore, that's the one. Yeah, so we're going to, once we get a print going on here, I will talk a little bit about the Switchwire, sort of the final build aspect of it, and then we will open the package from Fabrico. And as one of the things I'm finally going to be adding to this 0.1 is the Nevermore Micro that I printed out a long time ago. Yeah, so this is the red ASA. It's a really nice red. I don't have an example of some other reds that I've gotten in, but there's a couple of reds I've tested out before that are sort of more on the orange side. This is a pretty, I mean, it's a very vibrant and bright red, but I really like the color palettes that Polymaker has, and all of their filaments have the hex code, so it's really easy for you to sort of know, you know, what color exactly you're getting. So let's go ahead and let's move chat to the side. Yeah, the red is gorgeous. I mean, it's no Voron red. Yeah, it's not a Voron red. hit up Nick. Maybe I will. The thing is though too, Zombie, is that we're moving in like 60 days. And so I'm trying to not get more things in, and looking in the shelf right now, I probably have like 80 to 100 spools of various materials, open and unopened, that I need to print with. This is also, let me show you guys this. This is not ABS or ASA, but I just opened this for Polymaker the other day. And this is a really cool yellow too. It's sort of got like a little bit of translucency to it, but it's a really awesome looking PETG filament. Okay, so let's go ahead and go over here, share desktop, that looks good, and we will heat up the extruder. We'll do 250. And we might as well start getting the bed warmed up. So we'll crank this to 100. I guess while it's doing this too, we need to figure out what we're gonna print. I am up to print, where are you moving to, JP? You're in Texas, you said, right? I'm almost positive. Yeah, this is Polylite. This is a Polymaker's Polylite. I've primarily printed with Polymaker's Polylite. I did purchase this forever ago to do a video on. So there will be a video on this at some point. Oops, you guys can't see because I changed camera view. This is Polymaker Polymax PC. So I will be doing sort of like the filament series that we've been doing on how to print with different materials, sort of my hardware recommendations, slicer recommendations, things like that. But it'll be probably a little bit while. Hey, what's going on? Nuno, what's up, Salman? Bed probe 2, please. Did you add ADXL to the Switchwire? No, I did not. So the Switchwire is completely stock right now. I built it according to LDO's guide and the Switchwire's guide, and that's how I'm going to run it for at least a few more weeks while I'm printing out Enraged Rabbit carrot feeder parts, which we'll also talk about. And then I'm going to be doing some modding to it. So like when the Stealth Burner is out of its beta, I know it's out of its open beta now. When they finally release Final Revision 1, I'm going to be throwing that on here with an LGX and a clicky probe, and I might be doing some other stuff as well. But other than that, it's completely stock. Let's see, what's your temp on Polyterra? Polyterra, I print just like regular PLA, so typically 220. If I notice that it seems a little bit too warm, I'll drop it to 215, but that's what I've been using. Let's see. I'm in Texas right now, but my parents are getting older, and so me and my wife are gonna move back to Iowa to help take care on the farm. Wow, that'll be a fun change of pace from Texas, I'm sure. Also, that sounds awesome. I'm looking forward to hearing and seeing how the workshop goes. For extruder, the Switchwire has clockwork mod. It's got the clockwork, not a mod. So, I mean, the only thing it's got going on that's, I think, not necessarily default is that, well, you can't really see it. Underneath the, so from your guys' camera angle, the right side, there's a cover, and it has the Heart K PCB toolhead board, but I think it's a slightly modified version that the LDO has created. Okay, so do we have any ideas what we want to print out? Let's see what's on things, homepage. I'm kind of up for whatever. It's gonna be in red, so we need to remember that. And ideally something that maybe won't take an insanely long amount of time. Treasure chest puzzle box is kind of cool. I do really like 3D Print Bunny's stuff. Giant chat? What? Polymaker scientist? We did say we were gonna do a bunch of cats. I don't know what the Polymaker scientist model is. I'll have to check that out. So anyone that doesn't know, last week we talked about cats for like half an hour. I'm trying to convince Erin that we need to get a cat at some point. And she doesn't seem to be budging. So I said last week that we were gonna be printing a bunch of cats. We did last week the, oh gosh, what is the cat? There's actually a cool, isn't there, I think it might be on Prusa. Let's see, printables. I don't know if it's a cat or if it's a, is it a Sphinx? Let's see if I see the model I'm thinking of. Sitting cat. How do you spell, is it Sphinx? Sphinx? No, what's the Chinese restaurant cat? Oh, cat. Do vase mode something? We can do a vase mode something too. So many choices. I just want to get something going here. Let's see. Sphinx. There we go. Thank you, Lisa. I was like, I know there's a really cool SPHINX. This is by best match. Is it most popular? Huh, it's definitely not what I'm thinking of. Maybe it's on Thingiverse. If I find that model, oops, if I find that model really quickly, we'll just do that. And if not, we'll figure out something else. Thingiverse. Oh, well, maybe it'll come up under Egyptian cat. Like you said, let's see. Cat planner? What's that on, Luke? Ooh, that's it, the Gayerson cat? I think that is what I'm looking for. Gayerson cat. No. Cat model. Okay, that is exactly what I'm thinking of. Let's see. Yeah, that's totally it. Okay, let's print. You guys cool printing this? This is exactly the model that I was thinking of. I don't think it'll take too long. Although this one, let's see if I go under download. So, okay, so one of the things I wanted to really quickly touch on is that, so I've been using Super Slicer, primarily with the Switchwire, and I haven't really used Super Slicer prior. Like, I've been a Cura user exclusively for a lot of years, and then I switched over to do fluffy mode. So I switched over to Prusa Slicer because the Cura is quite unstable on the Mac M1. It can slice and print simple models okay, but anything complex, when I go to preview, it just doesn't work well. So I switched over to Prusa Slicer, and when I was looking for Voron Switchwire stuff after I built it, I found very little profiles at all. And so I figured, hey, if I'm going to have to sort of start from scratch, I might as well, you know, play around with Super Slicer a bit. So that's what I've been doing. Let me confirm. So I have 250, 250, that's fine. Cooling, I have 20% cooling on actually for ABS/ASA on here, ironically, because 5's a little bit overkill. Because it does such a good job of retaining heat, I've noticed that it's kind of what I need. My acceleration is currently set to, I think I have overrides turned off in here, but in here, 4,000. I ran input shaper and pressure advance, and that seemed to be like sort of stably, it seemed to be stably what worked really well. So we'll give it a go. I'm not saying that this is a beautiful, perfectly set profile by any means, but it has been relatively functional, which is better than what I was initially getting. Okay, so we're gonna need a little bit of support material. I don't know if, let's see what it says if I do, let's see how long this print's gonna take. Yeah, exactly. Oh, did it crash? Okay, it's like, I'm just, okay, so we're definitely gonna need to do a little bit of supports at least. I'm cool with letting this ride and even this, but the neck we're gonna need a little bit. The only thing I don't remember is if Super Slicer got, support material. Did they get the generate supports? Do they not have the, what is it, slim supports? I really like the slim supports that Prusa Slicer has. I've sort of fallen in love with them. It's okay. Let's see, it's been a minute. Paint on supports, yeah. No, but they have, in Prusa Slicer, they have a certain support mode called, I believe it's Slim, and it doesn't support the model quite as well, but it takes less material and they're really, really easy to remove. And so I've been using them and I've had really good success with them. I think that's plenty of, I don't need any on it here. Sorry, buddy. Get rid of that. Okay, let's see. Infill, 40%, that is overkill as well. I was slicing up parts for the ERCF, so I have the parameters set a little aggressive for something like this. That's not what I want. I want enforcers only, slice now. That's basically the same thing. And even that looks fairly aggressive. Yes, okay, snug. Thank you, Luke. Yeah, snug supports are exactly. There's a there is snug supports, but I don't think it's in here, right? I remember seeing someone post about it the other day, saying that I can't wait for Super Slicer to get the snug supports. It wouldn't be under pattern. I think it would be. I mean, it would definitely be here. I'm not seeing it. It's there? Oh, support type. Why don't I see support type? Pattern? No. I must be blind. Okay, overhang threshold, solid first layer. So this is raft. Options for material and raft. Pattern. It's not here. Rectilinear, monotonic, concentric, Hilbert cube, sawtooth ironing. Because under, let me see, do I have Prusa slicer on here? I do. Okay, cool. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think it's in Super Slicer. If I go print settings on here and I go to support material and I go to, wait, why? Oh. Snug. Yeah, it would be under style, which isn't here in Super Slicer, so it's okay. We'll roll with it. It is a little bit aggressive though. That's fine. We'll go with it. I'm okay with this. What's the print time say? 4 hours. Let's see if we can change that. Let's see. Let's do 3 walls. Bottom, we'll just do 2. Top, we'll do 3. Cat eating, exactly. Oh, am I outdated? Okay. Yeah, I haven't updated Super Slicer in a bit. I could go faster, but I'm okay with this. We'll get it printing, just to have something going, and then even if we don't stream for the entirety of it, I don't know if that brought it down very much, but we'll see. It shaved off a little bit, not a ton. Okay, so export, and we'll go under downloads. All right, so let's go ahead and load up some filament here. Even on the most recent, okay, it's not a thing. That's what I thought. It's coming, but it's not there yet. Updated super looks way more like, okay, so after this stream, I will be definitely updating the Super Slicer version. Okay, I need clippers, which, anybody else have a ton of those little flush cutters, but whenever you need them, they're nowhere to be found? I swear, like, there's times where I find them in here and they're stacked on top of each other. And then usually when I need them, I started putting them in this tub so that way I know I have a pair, but I have so many in here. They seem to find all of the hidden little cracks, and then I can never find them when I need them. All right, we will get this down here, and then I gotta walk around to get this inside of the tool head. All right, field trip. Whoop. It's a little bit tricky with the camera by the door. Let's see. Okay, hopefully it's gripping. I'm gonna have to come back around like multiple times. Sorry, I'll get my steps in while we're streaming today. Okay, so let's see. If I go to side camera and I go to, let's see, let's feed rate, let's load. I also don't want the filament to pop off of this. Okay. Let's see what happens if I hit load. Oh, it hit cooldown mode. That makes sense. We took a long time, so it timed out. Okay. No wonder. I was trying to hand feed the filament through and it wasn't going. Well, it's because it cooled down. Snug supports, I can actually show you, Lisa. Well, we've got a minute here, it's heating back up. So let's go desktop, and then if I go to platter, let's see, where did I put the cat model? Okay, so let's do supports. Let me make sure I have, okay, so we have grid on. So now if I go to slice, okay, so, I mean, again, this is aggressive because it has supports on everywhere and I haven't adjusted anything, but this is how like regular supports would generate. And so now I'm not gonna change anything other than going to, from grid to snug. And if I reslice, it might be easier with a screenshot, but hopefully it'll be apparent with, yeah, like look at that, that's snug. So I mean, substantially less material. So I don't know how it exactly determines it. I remember looking at the description, it said, oh, does it say it if I go under? Okay, it doesn't. So it must have been in the release that I read it, but it's basically just less material. So most instances that I've used snug supports, it's been great. In like, it still supports the model perfectly and I don't have any issues, but I have had a couple of times where the snug supports aren't enough. So it kind of depends. Like if it's a functional part, I might still go with sort of the standard ones. It just really depends on sort of the geometry and how much support you think it needs. So I generally recommend, like, even after slicing it, to still sort of like, I mean, this would be plenty. I am certain of it, more than enough. But yeah, it makes it where supports are less, so it prints a bit quicker, wastes a bit less material, and they're usually very easy to remove. Okay, so let's see if I now go to here, and I go to the side camera, and I click on extrude. I think I extruded a little bit too quick, but that's fine. Okay, let's move it. All right, so filament is loaded. Because this is ASA or ABS, don't burn myself. We're gonna go ahead and close this up. And then we will run a homing cycle. Yeah, I had it, I think, a little bit aggressive on the feeding speed. Okay, so let's go ahead and upload the cat. If I remember correctly, I think that the nozzle is going to be a little bit too close. I still need to dial it in. It was fine when I was doing some testing initially, which was with PLA, and then once I enclosed it and switched over to ABS, it was not so good. I'm gonna go around and make a quick look at it to make sure the first layer is gonna be sticking okay. Yeah, it's definitely a hair too close. But I think we'll still be okay for this. I'll fine tune it a little bit later on. When I was initially building the profile, it was actually for PLA. And then I threw the enclosure on it, ran the print, and my nozzle just offset wasn't correct anymore. So, okay. So let's, while it's doing this, let me quickly go right here. So updates on the Switchwire. Basically, like I said, after the last stream, we made sure everything was working in the sense that, like, we tested everything out, installed Clipper, we homed it, so I checked out the motion and the end stops and everything was working correctly. And then the next day, then the issue was that, again, when I did a quick look to see if I could find a profile someone had created, I didn't really see a whole lot out there. Like for the V0.1, 2.4, even Trident, there's a lot of videos, content, profiles readily available, and for the Switchwire there wasn't really as much, just because I think the Switchwire is probably, well, by the serial numbers, it's not nearly as popular. I think a lot of people, when they think Vorons, think Core XY, although I will say that I'm quickly sort of fallen in love with the Switchwire. I think it's a really, really underrated 3D printer. So I spent some time on that, and then when it came time to install the enclosure, That took way longer than I expected for a couple of reasons, with the primary one being that I couldn't find any instructions anywhere. Like, the Voron build guide for the Switchwire basically stops at the wiring, and there's no mention of the enclosure. So I'm not entirely sure if the enclosure is even like a Voron official thing, or if it's not. There's a little bit of dust on this. And so JP loves them. This was a sponsored build. Yeah, it was sponsored. Fabrico and LDO sponsored this build. Yeah, there was no instructions for it. So initially I was just looking at images, and I had all of these different printed parts and some magnets, and I didn't know what to do. And I was kind of confused. Like, I mean, I looked around everywhere, and the resource that was a lifesaver was Steve Build's channel. He built the Switchwire LDO. I think he built the early like beta version as well as the final version, maybe. But he goes into detail about how to install these things. And so it's not insanely difficult, but it's pretty time consuming, because all of these different printed parts are held on by VHB tape. And so just cutting those down, peeling them, sticking them, and trying to, like, I used a, I grabbed one of my I grabbed my little metric ruler and had to measure like every single one to make sure they were the correct height. Steve Builds had messaged me he had messaged me when I was installing Klipper, because I said, hey, like, is there not a Klipper config available for this from LDO? And he had one that I think LDO had sent him, but LDO hadn't posted it publicly yet, or it just wasn't easy to find. And then he also said, hey, here's this STL I've got for a spacer. And the spacer was really nice for these back panels where they meet, because it basically was the thickness of roughly what the VHB tape was. And so when I was placing things, I knew that I was placing them to where the VHB would have enough of a gap to have the corners sit perfectly flush with each other. But yeah, realistically, I thought the enclosure was going to take me maybe an hour. I think the enclosure took me like 3-ish hours. I took my time. I definitely took my time, but yeah, it was just a lot more involved than I anticipated. The LEDs too, getting them to feed into these printed parts was a bit trickier, because you have to peel the backing off of them before you slide them in, and so that kept wanting to stick. It was definitely an interesting, not something that's not feasible, but like it just took longer than I thought. And the main part of that was just that there wasn't really much of any instructions available. So that has been that. Let me really quickly here check on what is happening with this. It looks good from my point of view, but let me go around and just peep it really quick. Yeah, it looks pretty good to me. Nozzle's definitely a hair too close, but I mean, I haven't made a profile from the ground up in a really long time, and so the fact that it's printing and looks pretty decent, I'm fairly happy. So the Switchwire, after I got the profile going, I started printing out some of these parts, which are for the Enraged Rabbit carrot feeder, which is the sort of MMU setup for the, well, it's for, I guess, any printer. It's sort of more aimed towards Voron and Klipper, but I've heard that there's someone that has it working on RepRap firmware, and you can technically port it to anything. But this is something that I really want to build and find interesting, not necessarily because I'll use it a ton, but because I think the build seems challenging, and there's a lot that can be learned about Klipper and macros and using the Python scripts, and also to be able to do some cool prints, sure, like having the ability to do multi-material on a Voron, even if it's just a every once in a while thing, is pretty dang cool. 6,000% print speed. Yeah, this is a pretty conservative profile. Again, just because I'm still, shut up, you can't change the fact that it's, I left the backing on the lights, much easier. Interesting. Brent says you left the backing on the lights. So because the way these lights are, you can't really see it, I guess, but you probably could leave the backing on and just have them sit in there. Because to be honest with you, from the heat, the adhesive backing on the LED strips aren't sticking all that great anyway, so they kind of are just fit in there. So that's probably not a bad idea at all. But yeah, so the ERCF, it is something that I was planning on doing a build on, and I was waiting for the right time, but yesterday I purchased the ERCF kit from Fabrico. So This will be coming in. I just got the shipping notification today, actually. So for anyone that doesn't know, which I know a lot of people in here are very familiar with ERCF and all things 3D printing of all sorts, but this is, well, these are some example prints off of it. But this is what the unit looks like. It's pretty insane. The one I got is a 9 slot, so up to 9 different colors, which is way more than I'm sure I'll ever actually use. If Fabrico had a smaller kit size, I probably would do that. But yeah, up to 9 channels, and it looks insane. So we are going to be building that and adding it to the Switchwire at some point. But I also want to do a couple of mods to the Switchwire first. So we'll see. But yeah, I ordered it. The kit from Fabrico seems to come with just about everything. Let me see here. Where is it? It seems to come with just about everything that you're going to need for it. And they have up to, so I got the 9 filament. They have a 9 and a 12. But it comes with a little PCB, the stepper motor drivers needed for it, the stepper motors, the servo, the sensors, like it's everything. And then I just had to pick up some Bowden tubes separately, which I got from them as well. So that'll be coming, and we'll definitely be doing a unboxing. Let's see, Ray says, I built the 9 slot. I also have laying around the 12 slot, but it is V1.0. What's the current revision they're on? I actually don't know. Release notes. Let's see, carrot patch, carrot feeder, Enraged Rabbit, carrot feeder, ERC. Oh, so it's on 1.1. Gotcha. Okay, so it's probably the generation right before it. Yeah, so I've been printing out parts for this. I still have a long ways to go, but we're definitely making some progress. Hey there, I need to watch the stream back. Wanted to say hello, see you in the VOD. Hey, thanks for stopping by, DJ. I saw you earlier today, I think in Joel's stream, right? I was just talking about that earlier. It was a great stream. I really, really enjoyed it. Aliens, you can upload directly to the Pi from it, so you don't have to manually do it. Did you see my message about super? Oh, gotcha. So similar to how I've done it in Prusa Slicer, connecting it to Octoprint, and then basically down here, instead of export to G-code, there's usually a little button. No, I didn't know. How does it work well if you're interfacing with multiple Vorons? Oh, dude. So, it's funny DJ said that. So, you know I think it's the MacGyver Dragon. I can show you. Showing is probably better. That's why we're here, is not for audio, but for video. So, if I go to Articulated Dragon, it's gotta be this one, I'm sure of it. Maybe? Yeah, this is it. So, anyone that's on Twitter, or anyone that hangs around a lot of 3D printing places, will have seen this dragon over the last few months. Uncle Jesse's been printing it like crazy. Joel's been selling them in his Etsy shop. Well, today on Joel's live stream, there was an interview with Desktop Metal, and Desktop Metal brought one of these dragons printed on their machine, but it was fully in stainless steel, which was super freaking cool. It was awesome. Yeah, it's perfect. Just gotta change which printer you're slicing for. Yeah, I'll need to do that then, Alien. That sounds super convenient. I mean, I am still slicing occasionally in Cura while I'm experimenting with stuff, but yeah, I will have to do that for convenience. And you skipped my question, so you must love the Legacy, right, Dan? Yeah, the Metal Dragon was awesome. I am tempted to show you guys that because you didn't see it. I don't see it being called. Dan, what's your opinion on the Legacy? Sorry, I didn't see it. So the Legacy, we'll go back here for a minute. I don't know much about the Legacy. God, there's so many things today. I'm excited because I don't get to just hang out with everybody and talk. Well, we do hang out and talk 3D printing every week, but there's usually a build or a project going on. So the, let's see, Voron Legacy. I actually talked very briefly about the Legacy with Nero on his stream last week. Here we go. So the Legacy is the only Voron that's sort of using, I don't want to say older style components, but more rep-rappy, traditional, what I'm used to seeing components. So I mean, in this image here, oh, there's a gallery, sick. So smooth rods instead of linear rails, which I believe every other Voron is using linear rails. So that's, I mean, I guess that's probably one of the key things, right? Most everything else on here looks fairly standard. Like this sort of crossbeam section is almost the same as like what a Prusa would use or any of the older machines. Everything pretty much used to have two of these smooth rods, and there's nothing wrong with them. I mean, they work really, really well. And I think that Nero said the Legacy he felt was the only printer that you can probably just build it and like figure it out without having a good instruction guide on it. But I mean, I think that the Legacy is freaking cool. I don't see anything, like I get it, linear rails are incredibly stiff and very precise in terms of their movement, but like, I think that the Legacy would be a super fun build. I just don't think there's any, I don't think there's any kit at all, you know, what inappropriate say, Super Legacy. Yeah, a Flexi Dragon. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys because we're all here and we're hanging out and having fun. So let's go YouTube. And let me go to Joel. I don't know why I thought Joel, like he's the only Joel on, I guess in my mind, like when I think of Joel, it's him. So if I go to, let's see. Oh, I don't know if it'll even, because I'm streaming. Oh, okay, this was sick too, but Desktop Metal is after. Anyone that gets a chance afterwards, definitely watch the stream because there's just a lot of cool things. Is the dragon? Okay, here we go. Okay. So let me see, I think Sean got a couple close-up shots of it. Here we go. Okay, so when he pulls it out, it's pretty funny because I saw chat saying that Joel really wants the dragon. And like, you can totally see it in his eyes. There's a couple of times where he's like, yeah, no, I absolutely want it. Since it's just like such a staple of kind of what's going on in the desktop 3D printing space when everyone's printing. And he does so much printing of these in his print farm. It's just such an epic model. I mean, it's almost like a trophy piece. But yeah, during this part in the stream, like you can sort of tell that his eyes are hoping that he's gonna say like, yeah, no, you can take that one, but I don't think he does. I think I had to stop it because I was getting ready for this stream. But yeah, the model is just absolutely beautiful in metal. So cool, just so cool to see it in actual metal. But yeah, that was a lot of fun today. Let's see, be right back, going to Micro Center. All right, have a great trip. Let's see, Legacy only has a CAD model and there's no manual. Oh, gotcha, okay. So yeah, it's very much so, man, that could be a fun challenge, but I don't know if that's something I'd want to do on stream. Oh, Funzer makes a kit. The rods do bow over time, but only by an extremely small amount unless accidentally hit. I might get a Funzer Legacy kit. No, he didn't get to take it for now. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, DJ, if in a future Joel video we see that dragon in the background, because again, like, I don't think he said it. I don't remember hearing him audibly say it, but chat said it, and you can totally see it in his demeanor that he's hoping that the Desktop Metal guy is gonna be like, yeah, this is for you. So I hope he does get it, because again, like, he obviously, it's a freaking cool model, man. Zeron says, think about it, a Flex Dragon on metal would cost €2 if you can print it. It might be 50. Yeah. Yeah, metal printing is definitely, so the cheapest, and when I say cheap in major parentheses, the cheapest form of desktop metal printing that I've seen, that's true metal printing, is, oh God, it's by BASF Ultrafuse. And we used to sell, when I was working at Matter Hackers, we sold this stuff, and this stuff's pretty insane. So let me see if I can find it really quickly here. So it comes spooled just like a regular spool of material, and you can actually print it on any desktop printer that can print with a higher temp and abrasion resistance. So, I mean, basically, if you had an Ender 3 with an upgraded hot end and a hardened steel nozzle, you can print with this. Adhesion's a little bit tricky, but you can still get it figured out. The downside to this, though, is that you have to post-process it. So similar to how, if anyone did watch Joel's stream, Mark Forge was there, and Mark Forge has a very similar type of thing where it's basically a metal powder. So in this instance, the 316L is stainless steel, and it's very, very fine powder with a binding agent, which I think is, I don't know exactly. I think it might be proprietary or like in-house. Hey, Mark. No, just today's hangout and talking and printing day, so we're just having fun and story time in it and looking at a few cool things. So the way it works is, once it's done, you actually have to send it off to be debinded and sintered. And based off of the understanding I had in the communication with BASF when I was working there, was that you can't get your own forge or your own kiln. It's a very specific process that requires like $1 million debinding setup. So that's the downside. But the plus side is that you don't have to buy that, you just send it off to them. So it's still quite expensive. Like let's see, Matter Hackers has it, Forward AM has it. I think Matter Hackers is probably the main or the only US partner for this stuff right now. I could be wrong, but they released another version of it. So it's expensive, right? Like, I mean, a kilogram, or it's a couple kilogram. The cheapest one is the 17.4 they came out with, which is a different form of steel. And so it's still $130 for a roll. And this is, it says 1 kilogram, but it's quite misleading, probably unintentionally, but when you think of 1 kilogram, you think of like a roll of PLA or you know, whatever you're used to, ABS PTG, which is a fairly large spool. Because of the density of this material and its metal powder, if you look at the spool, it's actually not a whole lot of material because of that weight to it. So it's pretty pricey, but again, you know, this wouldn't be something you'd print with for fun, but if you're someone that has an idea, maybe wants to develop a product, needs it to be in metal, but can't mill it or the geometries are too hard, it is an affordable way to prototype it for someone going down that route. But yeah, it's absolutely not intended to be used for like casual printing, unless you've got it like that, then, you know, by all means, but let's see. Oh, music stopped. Let's put some music back on. Print looks like it's going pretty well. Let's go to our 8-bit stuff. And then I want to open the package from Fabrico that I ordered last week because I am excited. And typically when a box comes, I tear it open quickly. But because I was like, no, we'll look at it all together, we need to get that open. I found out weed filament exists. I might get a spool. It's 35. I think it's hemp filament, right, Sim? I've seen it before too. Filament is also available. You can process into with more off-the-shelf style kiln. Yeah, I know that. Oh man, what's the company called? Metal 3D printing, FDM. They were actually at Murph a few years ago. I'll find it very quickly here. Here we go. This one's cool too. So Virtual Foundry is another metal filament that you can print on your traditional desktop printer, but you can actually do the sintering process at home. So if you go to products, so look, I mean, there's for example, well, that's an expensive, that is an expensive, what looks like Ender 5, $2,500. You don't need that though. I thought they had much cheaper versions than $3,000. Getting started bundle. Yes, okay. So they have a like big setup now of it, but you can also just go, you know, if you need a nozzle, the size filament, a crucible, stainless steel, or alumina. So I don't know what exactly that is, but it comes with, let's see, you get started with filament. Package includes filament, the filler warmer, hardened steel, crucible, ballast. So this should be enough to be able to allow you to do some metal 3D printing, which is pretty freaking cool. And I don't know, do they have a gallery? Because if they don't, they really should. But I mean, I saw some really cool prints that they had finished. Education, case studies. Interesting. I feel like that's what they're missing, is a social media or photos. But yeah, if anyone's looking into metal printing, these guys are really cool. And again, it's still expensive, but you know, metal printing, like metal is just not an inexpensive thing, and it's certainly substantially less than, you know, the insane machines that they have at Rapid. I brain farted. I was reading Zombie's message, and apparently I can't multitask. Spool should be measured in length. Change my mind. No, I agree with that. I think a lot of them have both. Does this have both? Because if it doesn't, it totally should. Filament diameter, spool size, part cooling. It does not have the length, I don't see. I agree. I think it should have both. But yeah, I don't know why we ever went based off of a weight standard. I don't fully understand that. Especially like, again, different densities can just make such a huge difference. Do you have your input shaper graphs for the Switchwire? I might. That is a great question. I don't know if these graphs are, oops, hello. Okay. I don't know if these are from the Switchwire or if they were from the V0 that I did before. Let me see if I can find a date on these really quick. Let's see, properties. These were created on April 22nd. These are definitely from the Switchwire. These are my graphs. If you want these graphs, just ping me on Discord and I can send them to you. I don't know how much you'll actually be able to get from just this quick screenshot in the stream, but you can make a kiln and a forge. I've actually seen, so a company reached out to me a while ago. That sold a ceramic 3D printer, and it had a sort of DIY kiln, am I saying it right? Yeah, kiln, where you used your microwave. It seemed fine in the video, but I also don't, you had to put the thing in the microwave for a very long time, and it concerned me, and I was like, I don't know if that's something that I necessarily want to do, but yeah, I've seen all sorts of different sort of DIY solutions. Okay, let's take a quick, let's open up this package. So this is my original V0.1. This one was the one I self-sourced. It's got quite a lot of hours in it. I don't know exactly how many hours, but I printed all of the second, I think I called it a Switchwire. I printed this Voron 0.1. I printed all the parts for the LDO Voron 0.1 on that it fit on. I also printed out some of the parts for the Switchwire and quite a bit of just random prototyping, and it's been awesome. The really only issue I've had is that I did get a clog inside of the mini afterburner, and the reason was I was printing with copper filament and I was trying to push it as fast as I could, and it was going well until it wasn't. It snapped inside of the printer, and inside of the extruder, and I had to take it apart. And that was when I realized that I really don't like having to take apart the mini afterburner, because you essentially have to cut the cable clips, in my instance, undo some of these plugs. Like it's not a really fun experience. And I've also been wanting to test out the LGX/LGX Lite, because everyone swears by them. GC and DFunny have told me many times how much they absolutely love them. Did you see the OSEC have 120 by 120? OSEC is the one that's like, it kind of looks like BuildTech, right? But it's got better adhesion and it tells you when it's hot. I got for mechanical parts, I print ABS, carbon PTG, and carbon fiber nylon. Yeah, those are great. I saw a video on those. Several models exploded. Oh my God! Thank you, Alien. And I'm glad that I trusted my spidey senses. There's a 0.2 coming soon. I haven't seen Nero officially state it, but he was talking on a stream the other day about something that made it sound like there was possibly something in the works. So we're gonna upgrade this 0.1. If 0.2 does come out, and when it comes out, depending on if there's kits or what the upgrade path looks like, we'll probably take this guy, the LDO one, 0.1, which is currently completely stock, and upgrade it at that point. But we're gonna be doing a bunch of upgrades to this on this channel. It's basically getting torn down, and it's getting an LGX Lite, it's getting a click heat probe, it's getting a screen, it's getting a belted Z, the stiffer aluminum bed, it's getting, what else did I get for it? We're putting in the carbon filter, because I have noticed with this that, granted it's a lot closer to my desk usually, that the ABS is definitely seeping out of it, and it is not a pleasant smell. So I'm pretty excited to do some of these mods to it. Yes, OSEC is one with the temp indicator and the nice surface. Interesting. They actually reached out to me quite a long time ago to test out their bed, and to me it looked very similar to what was already out there. And it wasn't until afterwards when I started seeing people testing it where I'm like, it actually seems like it's got something special to it. Aside from like, to me the whole like, hey, I'm hot thing is cool, but I've grabbed my beds at 100 Celsius, and yes, it's hot, but it was more like, kind of like a, I guess like a little added perk, but it wasn't enough for me to be like, yeah, that's the reason. But I've seen people printing things with very little footprint on the bed at a really aggressive angle to test it, and it seems like the adhesive is insane. So that might be cool to test out. What is the best price to performance Voron and what is the cheapest Voron? So I would say cheapest Voron is the 0.1. If you go with like a, either like a FormBot or a, I think FiSec kit, I think they're like $400 or $500. The LDO one is 600, I want to say, from Fabrico. Let me see here. Okay, after this, we are going to, I promise you, we're going to open it. Let me see if I go Voron LDO 0.1. It's either 600 or 700. I can't remember what the current. Okay, that did not do it. 0.1 LDO. Okay. Okay, maybe I'm goofing. Let's just do this. Oh, it's probably because it's under V0. There we go. Okay, so $599. So it's a bit more expensive if you go with LDO. However, I will say that one of the biggest pluses of the LDO kit is the wiring harness. It took me hours and hours and hours to crimp every single wire for this one, and the electrical on that was so much easier. So I would say, let's just say range-wise, the 0.1 is anywhere between 400 to 600. The Legacy, I don't know, because I haven't seen kits and I don't know how much it costs to source itself, so I don't really know. The Switchwire, I think the cheapest I've seen it is around that $600 to $700 price point, and if you go with LDO, which is what this one is, which comes with quite a few extra goodies, including like the enclosure, which to me is really nice, and one of the reasons why I like Vorons is because they're enclosed or can be enclosed easily. This one is $899, I want to say. Let's see. Well, that helped answer some of this stuff. $874 right now. And then you have 2.4 in Trident, which I want to say that I've seen the 2.4 for as low as $800 or $900. I think from FiSec. And the LDO one is $1,000 or $1,350. It also depends on the size. Based off of the digging and research I've done, I think that as far as value goes, and some people are probably gonna disagree, I feel like the Switchwire is actually the best value in terms of build volume, what you're getting, and price point. I think that the 2.4 is very close to it, but it's definitely more money. But there are perks to the 2.4, like the 2.4 has like the flying gantry system and it's a Core XY. Well, this is a bed slinger, so as far as speeds go, you're not gonna be whipping a bed back and forth as quick as a much lighter tool head in a stationary bed. But the Switchwire is, I said it earlier, but like I've slowly fallen in love with the Switchwire. Like, it's a bed slinger, and it is an awesome bed slinger at that. So it really depends on your specific use case. Like, it's using a Prusa bed, so it's a 9x10 if I'm not mistaken. So you're limited to that size unless you do like C Senior. C Senior did a CR10 conversion, which gave it a bigger bed, but generally speaking, you're stuck with a 9x10. So if you need bigger than that, like on the 2.4s, I think there's a 300 cubed size and a 350 cube size, and Trident, I don't know, but I believe it's at least 300. So it also, that's a little bit of an important factor, but I do think that based off just my time building it and sort of getting to appreciate this machine, like the Switchwire is heavily underrated. It is a very, very awesome bed slinger style 3D printer, and I have really much been enjoying it and plan on enjoying it for a really long time. But again, just my opinion, not saying that you have to go that route, and again, it depends, if you have to have a Core XY, then I would say look at 2.4 or Trident. But the V0's also, I don't know, man, they're all cool. It's very difficult. Yeah, you can use any bed made for Prusa. It's super convenient. I like the Trident the most, and it's the closest to the Ender 5 Plus, much easier to help keep the bed area hot as well. I got the BQ that I modded. It's a 250 by 250. Oh, interesting. Wait, what did you, Zombie, on the BQ, what did you mod on it? Hey, 760's here. Sorry, I missed in a typical fashion, I was too busy talking. Okay, let's go ahead and open up the box of goodies that I ordered last week. Voron 0.1, where are you going? We will slide all of the printed parts out of the way. Okay, I am excited because the LGX light's in here, and I have not, I've been wanting to get an LGX or an LGX light forever, and I have not, and so I'm excited to actually hold it. Where is my box cutter? There we go. They aren't cubed. Oh, okay, gotcha. 300 is 200Z, and 350 is 330Z. That's good to know. I don't know why I thought they were cubed. Okay, so a little shorter in the Z on both of them. Okay. All right, here we go. The moment I've been waiting for 24 hours. So not super long, but long enough. Man, I didn't drink barely any of my coffee. 1 second. I bet Vez would get you in touch with Mello for a VZ bot build. I would love to build Vez's crazy contraption that I follow him on YouTube, and I don't think I've ever talked to him, and I don't even know if I've commented on his videos, but I always typically watch them when it pops up in my feed and just sit there like, damn. They're really cool looking and, you know, obviously really impressive. Okay, I don't think I'm throwing anything out. I will say that it looks like Fabrico is using all sort of recyclable packaging, and I appreciate that. Thank you, Fabrico, for doing your part, because a lot of times, especially with Amazon when I order stuff, man, they give you a lot of plastic for a very little product. I don't even, let's see, it's everything that okay, I think this is, okay, so inside the box we have got, let me move, thinking converting the Ender 3 to a Switchwire, only 300 euro I have to put in the build. That's right, because you have the 0.1 now and you have a bed. Yeah, I mean, I think you'd have a lot of fun with it, Zerant. Especially if you've already sort of broken it down. I didn't realize, because somebody asked you about it and I was like, well, why would you do that? Like, what are you using from the Ender 3? And then they told me and I was like, oh, you actually reuse a lot more parts than I thought you do. Okay, so we've got the Bondtech LGX box, which we'll open these up in a moment. I ordered magnets. Why did I order magnets? Zerant, I told them it was because of the clicky probe, which it probably was. I got these in from Fabrico a long time ago, actually. Maybe it was just to have spares, I don't really know, but I've got the parts for the clicky probe right here. I've got the parts for the belted Z right here. And so yeah, I think these are just extra magnets to have. I've been using magnets quite a bit lately. I need to just order like a ton of these magnets, but since I was placing an order, I just figured, heck, I should probably get them. Oh, cool. So as much as I want to play around with Clipper Screen quite a bit and install it on some machines, for the V0, and due to how like compact it is, the Switchwire has showed me that I do like having a screen, even if the screen on here is not a, touchscreen. It's just sort of a standard, well, it's pretty because it's got RGB and stuff, but I like having a screen, whether it's just for monitoring temps or walking by it and seeing, how far along I am in the print process. This is a tiny little, I think it's an OLED screen. I could be mistaken, but I think it's Fisec is who makes this one. So this is going to go on the V0 as well. I was debating on putting a small touchscreen on it, but I decided that for now I'm just going to keep it really compact. So we've got the blower fan. This blower fan is actually for the carbon filter, or the Nevermore Micro, which they released a V2 that takes 2 blower fans. I'm gonna stick with V1 because it's going to be substantially better than having nothing like I do right now, and I already printed out the parts, so it just seemed like a waste to chuck the parts. So this, considering how small the build volume is, I anticipate this will still be making quite a big difference, so that's what that fan's for. We'll be removing it from its housing, and let's see, I have the LDO screen for it. That's at least, yeah, I don't, maybe it's not OLED then. Let me take a look really quick here. I originally was gonna get the LDO one, but I think Fabrico was out. Let's see, how did I find it? I think I just searched screen. Maybe it was display. I don't remember. Display. Okay, here it is. Yeah, it might not be. You might be right. It could be. There's not a lot of info on it. I guess time will tell. It might not be though. It looks similar to one that I saw that was OLED. But it looks, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Is this the one? 5 sec. It actually might be. So this is the one I believe that I'm running inside of the. Well, it's not from FiSec because it's LDO, but this is sort of the style that I'm running in the Switchwire right now that came with the kit. This is the one that I ordered, and it's definitely smaller. No, actually, I think you're right, Zoran. I think it's basically this right here, which is the LDO one. So yeah, you're probably right. Hey, what's going on, Maker Viking? I have no idea. I added the channel to my feed. I suck at. What time is it? Okay, it's 1:09. In 20 minutes, we'll open up for the giveaway. Okay, so let's go back to overhead. Okay, so there's the fan. A ton of carbon. I was originally just gonna order some carbon on the internet, or on like Amazon or something like that, but when I was browsing for the Switchwire stuff and I saw that they had made, Nevermore had made their own printer carbon, it wasn't insanely expensive, and it'll last me a long time. So I figured that, hey, if some of this is going back to support the creator of the Nevermore project in general, then like that's something that I'm cool with supporting. So got some carbon activated for the filter. And then what is this? Oh, this is the bed. Nice. Okay, yeah, this is cool. I've been looking at ordering some of these parts for months, like months. Even the ERCF I've been looking at for a really long time. So I was really happy to finally be able to place the order. Okay, I should probably do this on stream, right? I think, yeah, Zeront is definitely running this. Also, Zeront, per your recommendation, I did order Wagos for the rebuild. So the bed's going to be using Wago. So this is a bed for the V0.1 that feels like aluminum, maybe, is it steel? Is it, it might be steel. I don't actually know whether it's aluminum or steel, but instead of using the two small extrusions on the side, this is supposed to add some rigidity to the bed. And not that I've really had issues with it, but I think that combining this with the belted Z, so the Z is gonna be moving a lot quicker, that adding a little bit of stiffness to the bed will be a cool thing to have. It's stainless? Okay, cool. Oh, okay. Zerhan says aluminum, JP says stainless. It's a metal. It is some form of alloy. But yeah, I'm excited. So this is pretty much everything that I'm planning on doing to the V0. So we've got upgraded bed with the belted Z. We've got clicky probe. We've got carbon filter. I just realized that I didn't close out of Slack for work. 1 second, quit. All right, we got the fan for that. What is this? Oh, you got the LCD screen. We've got the Wagos coming. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I don't know if it's Wagos or Wagos. And, oh, magnet tested. It's aluminum. Wait, is stainless? Stainless is magnetic, right? All steel. Yeah, it's aluminum. Good call, Zaran. Brain farting. Oh, and this. And then the final thing will be as well that I think I'm probably going to install a camera into it. I had ordered a couple of cameras. I'll show you guys actually. K-Heart, or Heart K. Yeah, Heart K, not K-Heart. Had posted some cameras the other day on Twitter that looked pretty awesome, really sleek and really inexpensive. And I ordered them off AliExpress, and I think I jinxed myself because when I was talking to, oh, not all stainless is magnetic. Okay. Steel is magnetic, aluminum isn't. Yes, there is a giveaway opening up in 17 minutes. So the, let me just go to it real quick. So I talked to Iggy a couple months ago about AliExpress, and he sort of talked to me about like the unreliability of actually getting things. And I said to him, interesting, I've ordered tons of parts and I've never had issues. Well, I definitely like shot myself in the foot by saying that because I've had 3 packages go missing. Out of my last 3 packages have all gone missing. 2 of them were combined into one, so that I consider, I guess, one package, but this one also did as well. So this is what he was using, Heart K, and it looked great. It's super sleek. This really, again, considering how expensive webcams have sort of become throughout the whole pandemic and working from home and shortages, I had no desire to spend 50 to 60, 70 bucks on a webcam, but this thing at $15 had pretty solid quality. Let me actually see here really quickly, making some progress on that. If I go to Twitter, he actually posted a Heart K. All right, cool. So check it out. He posted some photos of it. He was messing around with some tiny extrusions. But yeah, so this is the camera, and he added a quick disconnect USB-C module to it, which is sick. And this is the view. So like, yes, is this like the highest quality streaming to, you know, like Twitch? No, but I don't need that. Like, and I honestly don't need a camera, period. But for $15 to be able to just quickly peek in on my print, I think it's worth it. And so, yeah, when I saw the size of it, being that it's so small, that there's like a quick disconnect board that he showed, it looked freaking cool. Anyone that's not following Heart K as well, I don't really talk to him much other than me drooling over his mods and stuff like that, but definitely follow him. If you're into Voron stuff, he does a lot of cool design and really just gorgeous work on his channel, or on his Twitter. I saw something else he did recently that was sick as well. And then I'll go away from here. Let me see. He posted basically like an odometer that he added to his 3D printer. Where is it? I don't know where it is. It was like a physical mechanical odometer that he showed that he hooked up to his printer, and then it connected a clipper, and it actually logged, like the numbers flipped over, and I don't know if, I would imagine it's for each print hour or something like that, but it was freaking cool. So yeah, this stuff's rad. Every week, a spool up. Yeah, yep, every single week we are doing a giveaway thanks to Polymaker, which is sick. So that'll open up in 14 minutes, and then we'll leave it open for half an hour, and then we will we'll draw. I have a lot of orders from Ali. They come in 10 to 14 days for me. Got 2 things arriving tomorrow. Yeah, I have used AliExpress a little bit, but now that I started sourcing stuff for Vorons and printer projects, I've ordered a ton of stuff from AliExpress and have had relatively good luck of about 2 weeks delivery time, fairly similar to you, Zoran. It's just these last couple orders that I'm glad that they aren't like multi-$100 items, but it's still like $90 worth of parts that's missing. And AliExpress does not let you open up a claim for like months. The package should have been delivered according to tracking 4 weeks ago, and I can't open a claim for another 3 weeks. So it's just like, it's definitely a little bit frustrating. But I guess that's just the way it be. Sem, I would highly recommend getting a Twitter. Even if you don't post anything at all, for the 3D printing space, I think that Twitter is probably the most active platform, and it's where I get a ton of news and also where I sort of interact with a lot of other people in the 3D printing space. Alien says, be glad. Definitely a lot of shit posting on Twitter. There's a lot of drama and a lot of like stuff that's not so good. I lay very low. I only use it to see news, say hi to people, see awesome things. Like everything else I just stay out of. So yeah, it definitely isn't the prettiest of places, but if you navigate it carefully, there's a lot of cool stuff as well. G-Funny says he's oh cool, he's the maker of the Micron. That's awesome. So you must have talked to him quite a bit then, G-Funny. Yeah, I've never I don't think I've had any like DM conversations with him, but I've definitely complimented and drooled over his work many times. the designs are great, and he never does a half-assed job. Like, it's always really, really clean. Hey, what's going on from the Netherlands? Ayers, I don't know how you say that. Ayers Blomers? Sorry if I butcher that. Also, they have a scaled down V minion. Wait, what? Wait. Sam, where is, wait, is that official, the Tic Tac? If it is, I want to build it. Okay, I searched Tic Tac minions, and the minions, like the Disney or Pixar or DreamWorks minions Tic Tacs apparently is actually a thing. Someone, oh, on printables? Okay. Well, you can Google minions Tic Tac, but you won't find what you're looking for. Let's see. Tic Tac. What do you search to find it? I'm not pulling it right now. All my orders always get stuck in Compton. Yeah, mine said, was it Glendora, California? Like 4 weeks ago. Because G-Funny ordered some product from Mello, like some screens and a can board, and I ordered them, I think, the next day. And so they should have been coming around the same time, and he got his, and I was like, oh sweet, mine's gonna show up, because I was checking it nearly daily at that time, and then I started checking it like every other day, and then twice a week, and now I'm just like, it's not coming. Unless they find it in the deepest corner of the USPS warehouse, I don't think I'll ever find it. Just Tic Tac? Gardenia. Okay, yep. Gardenia is where it was. Yep. Okay, you said search Tic Tac on printables. I see Tic Tac Toe. I see most popular. Oh, ooh! All right, here we go. Dude, that is adorable. that is amazing. When is this? Does it say? Okay, so this is published. Wow, this was just published a little bit over a month ago. How crazy. A smaller version of the awesome rat rig with a build volume of... Wait, what is the build volume of the rat rig normally then? 160? Oh, it's gotta be, right? Like the Prusa, so it's basically, instead of Prusa mini size, it's the same size as the Voron 0.1. Printed parts range, it works SKR and Pico, EVA parts to follow. That's freaking cool. It's so cute, man. It's so cute. Oh my God, that's amazing. 3D printing always makes me so happy. Like, I love it because I've never really been one that needs to have like a really great reason to do something. Like if there's something that I think's cool, it doesn't have to be incredibly practical. If I want to do it, like I'm probably gonna try it or do it. I mean, I'm not saying in life regards, but like in modding or doing things like that. And when I was in the video game hacking / modding space, every time I did something that was like kind of just a cosmetic mod or something that wasn't that big of a deal, I'd get a bunch of people saying like, oh, that was a waste, or why did you do that? But in 3D printing, there is none of, everyone just does the thing, and it makes me so happy to see stuff like this be made, you know? Oh, okay, it's 180, so it's literally shaving off a third of it. Zerant says, check Discord. Let me go to the side. Oh, that's me. Let's go back over here. Oh, you sent me the link to it. Thanks, Zerant. Okay, so let's open up. Let me move all this stuff. I'm actually, oops, dropped the LGX light. Oh, no. Okay, so I'm gonna put everything back in this box because I will definitely lose it. And then let's open up the LGX and take a look at it. So the main thing I need to do for all these mods is figure out the order of operation. Like, I imagine I need to take apart a huge portion of the printer. Like, the tool head obviously needs to get taken apart because I'm replacing it with the LGX light. The bed needs to get taken apart. The Z needs to get taken apart. So I think what I'm going to have to do when I have some downtime is just go to each of the GitHub repositories for each of these mods and take a look at the images and see if there's any instructions to get an idea of like what extent things need to get broken down to be able to install / apply these things. Because I want to make sure we're doing it correctly in the order of operations, so that way we don't build it back with a mod and be like, okay, we're doing this one next. And then it's like, well, you got to tear it back down. So it's going to be interesting. Good luck taking apart the 0.1 is horrible. I know. I had to do it quite a few times on the first build. My X carriage kept cracking because I didn't know that I was told to use Loctite on like everything during the V0.1 build, and I did not know that there's a chemical or some sort of element in Loctite that makes it just does not play nicely. It makes ABS incredibly weak, and so either it would crack after I built it, or I'd run it for a couple of weeks and then it would crack. I'm actually running all on the original V0.1. I'm not using ABS at all because I didn't know what the issue was, and I thought like, man, the ABS must just be too stiff. I went with carbon fiber nylon for quite a few parts, and so I had to take at least the X carriage apart and completely disassemble it at least 3 to 4 times, and that was just the X carriage, and that wasn't fun. So yeah, I anticipate taking it apart, and I'm sure I stripped some. It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough, but we'll do it slowly, and we probably will. We might flip-flop back and forth between like 0.1 mod stream, and then the next week will be ERCF part 1, and then 0.1 mod stream, and then ERCF part 2, just so that way we can kind of break it up. Okay, let's open up this. I wish I had ability to zoom, but I'll have to hold it up to you guys because the top camera is just a webcam. It is not great at zooming in. That's why I like the corner cubes in the Legacy. Like just installing the crowning bed was such a hassle. Had to take so much of it apart. Oof. I just upgraded my 0.1 with an LGX light, and I love it. Make sure to have some spare belt though. That is a great call. I might need to order some Gates belts. I'll look around. I might have some. Oh my God, it's so cute. Okay, all right. Let's. I'm gonna just raise this up so we can see it. So, congratulations on your purchase of Bondtech product, and made in Sweden, which makes me happy because my mom's side of the family is all. My mom's from Sweden, born and raised till she was like 19. And that's where all my family lives. So, got a little bit of that Swedish pride going on. Powered by Bondtech. Nice. And just look at this guy. Look at this guy. It's so small. Let me get out of the box. I don't want to lose these little square nuts, but like, I mean, just look at it. It's so cute. I don't know if I'll really get to focus. There we go. So I believe, if I'm not mistaken, pretty much all of Bondtech's products are 3D printed, like the housings, with SLS. I don't think it's a carbon nylon. I think it's just SLS nylon, but it's got sort of a little bit of a texture to it because of that, which I always have liked. It's sort of like Bondtech's signature look, and it gives it a little bit of like ruggedness to it. Can I weigh it? I might have. You know what? I have a stamps scale. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna go walk to the bedroom. I have it on top of the like our 2D printer that's in this room. Let's see. I think that the this scale has been with me for like 10 years, and I'm pretty sure it's not 100%, but it should give us enough of an idea. Let's see. And yes, I've used it as a coaster. You can't really see it, I guess, but there's cup stains on it. Oh shoot! Ah! This thing, I mean, I don't know exactly what the flow rate is on it, but from everything I've seen, like this little guy can push a lot of material very quickly if you can maintain the flow that you'll need. Okay, here's yes. All right. Ooh, plugging in USB. Plugging in USB. It's funny because I just put this away yesterday too. Should have known that Zerant was gonna ask me to weigh it. Let's let it zero out. That was not me. That was the that was the scale. It's actually the other day I was moving this and I slid it and I made that sound. And Erin said, "Babe," she thought I farted. It sounds just like a fart. Okay, here we go. So this is with the motor and with the LGX light. Oh, I just realized this isn't a gram scale. Because it's not, so it probably won't give you what you want. It says 4.9 ounces are on, but it's not going to be quite as precise as having like a food scale or something that can weigh grams. Dude, I would claim it. If I farted, I'd claim it. Okay, that was not me. If I'm getting caught, I'm at least I want it to be my fault. Combine the light with the high flow extruder and CXT nozzle. I'm going to keep, so I've been running the Dragon high flow on that 0.1 since I got it. And it's also got a, oh God, why can't I ever remember? Somebody tell me, what's the name of the nozzle I'm always forgetting? Like Nova 3D, no, I can never remember it, and it's such an easy word. Let's see. I can find it in like 2 seconds. Nozzle. Okay, it has a Zodiac. It has a Zodiac Pro nozzle on it. So I'm keeping the Dragon High Flow with the Zodiac Pro nozzle because it has been amazing. I've printed everything from like PLA, PTG, ABS with carbon fiber, ABS, nylon with carbon fiber. And I mean, it's been fantastic. The only issue I ever had was with a bit of copper fill, which is just aggressive. So, oh, Erin's here? I love you, see you when I'm off work. Everyone say hi, Erin. She's probably on her 10-minute lunch break. Thanks for stopping in. I texted her before we went live. 138 grams. Yeah, so I'm not doing Revo on this. So I've showed it a couple times. I've been been hoarding these Revos like a dragon and treasure, but I do have 2 Revos. I bought these like the end of December as a pre-order with the original intent to put the Revo 6 inside of the Prusa MK3S Plus and this one inside of the V0. But the MK3S Plus is working so well that it just seems super silly to tear it apart when it probably can run fine just stock as is for at least another year or so. Like, I don't see much gain. And then the 0.1, I just am not doing this one in yet. So the one of these is going in this Switchwire. As soon as the Stealth Burner is out of its beta and they've got like, hey, this is our final release, Stealth Burner 1.0 or whatever, it's going in there. But yeah, the Dragon High Flow to me is a solid hot end. And because I don't plan on, like on the V0.1, I'm not gonna be ever swapping out, never say never. I'm likely never really going to be swapping out for larger nozzle to print with, print quicker because it's so fast and the build area is so small that I'm not saying that it's not a bad, I'm not saying that it's a bad option, but just like, it's not, because I only have 2 and there's many 3D printers, like I have to be kind of choosy and it just isn't the one that I'm gonna throw it on. Oh, don't show her the cat. Same one I run on my V2. Yeah, G-Funny was just telling me, or like a couple weeks ago, I think we were talking about it briefly, but he's had really good luck with them as well. I just think it's a solid hot end. So, I mean, granted, a lot of the modern hot ends are pretty damn good. Like, I like the, I mean, if we're talking crowdy stuff, like the Micro Swiss Drop Into Me works great. And then there's Dragonfly, which is awesome. The Dragon's great. Revo, I haven't used the Revo, but from everything I've seen, and I have no doubt the Revo's great. What other hot ends are there? There's the Rapido. I've heard good things about the Rapido. Most modern hot ends to me are pretty dang good. The only ones that I think aren't are like some that come stock on the low-cost machines are sort of meh, but like most of the more premium hot ends are pretty solid. As a size comparison, check this out. It's kind of funny to see this. I think I took the tool head off. Yeah, I mean, look at the difference, right? So this is the H2, I believe, or H1? I think it's H2 from BQ, their hot end and extruder combo. And just like seeing these two I mean, seeing these two side by side is insane. I would say it's probably, it's less, I mean, it's definitely half the size, but probably less than half the size of it. So yeah, it's just it seems like the ideal extruder for any non-large form factor printer, and I mean, even possibly large form factor, but this guy's getting a full-size LGX. I don't know if it's still the case, but DC had stated that the ERCF carrot feeder wasn't compatible, or they just didn't have like a mounting setup for the LGX Lite, which that was some months ago, so it could have changed, but I'm giving it a full-size LGX. But yeah, for the 0.1, the mini, or the Lite, should be more than sufficient. So really excited to see what it's all about. And I like the, one really cool thing, I mean, there's a lot that's sort of intuitive about the LGX design, or the LGX Lite design, but this little gauge for setting the pressure or setting the tension is really cool, because every extruder I've used has a tension screw, and it's really difficult to it's difficult to know exactly where you are as far as tensioning it. Like, okay, I turned it a couple times, turning it back. But with these, because they have this lever, you sort of have like different clicking points. Well, on this one, it seems like there's basically 1 clicking point, 2 clicking point, 3 clicking point. I think the LGX full size might have a little bit more, but it's very easy to get back to exactly the tension you want. So if you're like, okay, I'm printing with TPU, maybe I need to open it fully, or hey, I'm printing with a nylon, you know, I need it a little bit looser. So it's just cool. Like I've always liked Bondtech, and it's really awesome to see them continuing to innovate. It's so small, right? I'm running a 0.6mm nozzle on my Ender 3 and just loving the quicker prints. Going to add one to try about 8mm nozzle. Yeah, so when I was printing product or printing things to sell, I pretty much exclusively ran we need to open the giveaway. I pretty much exclusively ran 0.6mm nozzles, because 0.6mm nozzles, you can still print at a 0.2 layer height or whatever, and the print quality is still fantastic, but you shave down so much time. And most of the parts, especially anything I'm doing that's remotely functional, I couldn't tell a quality difference at all. Like, I get it if you're printing really, detailed busts and stuff like that, sure, you might lose some of the detail, but for functional parts, a 0.6 is like, ooh, beautiful. It's a really good size nozzle. Okay, that's going in the box. Revos are going back on the shelf for now. Sorry, Revos. I will find a proper home for you soon. Okay, let's open up the giveaway. So for anyone that wasn't here last week or doesn't know, we are officially sponsored by Polymaker. Let's do a little bit of this action, a little bit of that action, a little bit of, yeah. So yeah, Polymaker officially is sponsoring the stream, and they are going to be doing a spool every single week giveaway. So it's international. It's, as far as I know, you basically can pick out any of their PLAs, ABSs, and I believe PTGs, and I send you a form to the winner, and then you just submit your color or the filament, the hex code, and your address, and they ship it out. So last week was the first stream, and Carl, who I don't know if is here today, won last week. Full size, 2 clicks for ABS, cool, okay. Was the winner. So we are going to open up that right now. Confetti is really fun. I only added it for the, oh wait, can I not turn it off? Oh no, the confetti's stuck. I can turn it off manually. It's weird, it only goes one direction on the, one second, we got confetti problems. Okay, here we go. What's going on, Ken? Okay, so let's get the giveaway going. I'm going to grab, where's the form? I had everything organized, and then I opened up a gajillion tabs. Let's see, send, link, shorten URL, copy URL, paste URL. Okay, here we go. Okay, so there is the form. If it says anything about are you within the USA, which it probably does, it doesn't matter if you click yes, no, or whatever, it's not gonna disqualify you. These are international giveaways, so we will ship anywhere in the world, within reason. By the way, this week's spool is mine, make it happen. Alien, classic. between Alien and Sem and Aggie, I suppose. Let's see, aside. I'm gonna go take a look at this. Again, I can see it. I think you guys probably can see a little bit better than I can with the stream than from my point of view, but it's looking really good. Yeah, that is looking solid to me. It's a really nice red. I see a little, like some lines in the height, which is kind of interesting considering there's no lead screw, but I have a feeling it's more just the ABS doing sort of its ABS thing. A lot of the ABSs I print with seem to get some sort of diagonal lines to an extent, but as far as the actual like printer doing its job, the extrusion looks great. There's no stringiness at all between, well, I guess that's a lie. There's a tiny hair, but little to no stringiness between the legs, and I'd say it's doing a solid job, so it'll be exciting. I'm excited for Erin to come home to it. I'll probably place it on her nightstand or something like that and just not say anything this time and wait for her to discover it. I have red Polylite ASA. It's amazing. Wait, was this ASA or ABS? I can't remember. Okay, this was ABS. I haven't used their ASA. I would like to, whatever the next Voron printer is, or printer that is something I'm printing out of ABS components-wise, I'm gonna use Polymaker filament because well, one, I wanna say a huge thank you to them for sponsoring the channel, and two, I wanna print with their ABS for a build. I've done eSuns for a build, I've done Fusions for a build, and I've done 3DX Tech, so I've got some of their, I really like the look of the army green ABS, or I think it's ASA that I got from them, so. If anybody is interested in purchasing any Polymaker filaments as well, there is a link in the description to Polymaker's website, and anything purchased there does support the channel. So, you know, again, if you do win, or you don't win, or you just see a filament that we're printing with that you like, that definitely is a way to get some awesome filament as well as support the stream. So I did want to mention that as well. Let's see. So it seems that cutting my current down on the X-Moto solid overheatings. Oh, nice. Yeah, well, when you said, I was talking, if you didn't see Nero's stream, me and him were talking about, at one point, here we go, we were talking about motor drivers and how, I think he said, maybe it wasn't that, don't quote Nero on this unless you see it in the stream, because I can't remember if it was my conversation with him or another conversation I had, but I was having a conversation about motor drivers, and like, I don't mind at all having stepper motor drivers embedded into the controller, into the main board. While I've seen some comments when I'm showing off, like, I think the SKR Mini in an old video, where someone in the comments basically said, like, I would never use a, or like, why would they do that? Why would they have that? They want, like, the Polulu step sticks, so that way if something happens, you can remove them. And to an extent, I get that argument, but I have used a ton of 3D printers and a ton of boards over the last 8 years, and I think I've had one stepper motor driver that actually got damaged out of all of them. Like, it is not incredibly common. Can it happen? Absolutely, but it's not that common, and when you have them in the board, it helps to dissipate some of the heat in the board itself, and it got a smaller footprint. So I've definitely had a few machines in the past where I had issues with like skipping steps, and it was that the driver was just getting too hot, sort of like Alien situation, and I just had to adjust the VREF on it a little bit. We actually had that issue, I think I had the issue with the Engravinator that I built. I had to adjust the VREF, which I hadn't done before, which was kind of fun. We actually did a rant. If you go back to that stream, whichever one I was doing electrical on, I pulled out my pad of paper and we did the math to see like what we needed to set it to, which was fun because I had never had to do those calculations before. No, I've already run out of Polyterra in 2 days and I need more. Polyterra is awesome. I've been printing a lot with Polyterra. Where is, I guess it was a lot of the multi-color stuff, but Yeah, I've been doing a lot of poly. Oh, it was the Cubone skull that I did. I showed you guys last week. I'm winning today. I need to test out Polymaker. Did you get a chance to install, have you started installing the Revo Viking that you got in? Voron extruder looks so cool. The Voron extruder is gorgeous. I think, to be honest with you, like, I think I like the look of the Afterburner more than the Stealth Burner. They're both cool in their own ways. Like, I think a little bit of it could be that the Voron I know sort of has this sort of looking tool head. So for me, it's like when I see or think of Voron, I think of this tool head. While the Stealth Burner is like, it seems a bit bulkier and it's sort of like low pixel, low polygon look, but it's also like a very, very cool look. And I think it's more of a like getting used to this different style of tool head. Plus the added benefit of it having increased cooling for printing with PLA at quicker speeds is also awesome. So I'm excited, and the RGB, there's a lot of cool things I like about the Stealth Burner. But yeah, I agree, the Afterburner tool head is a very cool and well-designed tool head. I'm winning today. Voron extruders. I've never had Polymaker filament before. It's mine. I'm running at 20% infill. I run 20% on just about everything, regardless of whether it's functional or not. Oh my God, there's been a lot of chat. I gotta go quick. I run 20% on most everything. It's overkill in a lot of situations, but it's one of those things where like I started with that in 2014 and it feels right. The prints turn out great and they're nice and hard, but yeah, I'm sure I'm wasting a bit of filament because a lot of these things that are just purely like tabletop items, I can go much less than that, I'm sure of it. I'm without all adult supervision for the next month. Wife's out of town and I've already spent about 5. Oh, Luke. It's actually funny. When Erin's not here, which is not often, because for work she doesn't ever have to travel or do anything like that, and it's usually like she's going to visit her parents and then it gets late and then she's like, oh, I'm gonna stay the night. I always sleep worse and I end up being on my phone browsing stuff, and there's been a couple times where I've bought something. I can't say it's her fault because I'm an adult and need to be an adult, but yeah, I completely get it. What is better, adhesion, ABS or ASA? I would say it's pretty similar, Sem, but in my testing, I did feel like ASA seemed to be a bit easier to print with. Very, very similar. They're both styrenes, but yeah, I do think the ASA might have a bit of a easier time with adhesion. I'd recommend ASA for Voron parts, less warping. Do a bonsai and their ABS. I don't know if I want to do a bonsai, I'm not entirely sure. We need to stay on the stream for the giveaway. Yeah, you do. We're drawing in 14 minutes though, so I'm not gonna make you wait very long. I'm not entirely sure, because I was talking to Nero about it, and he basically has it where you have to be in the stream to enter, but you don't have to be here to win. And so that might be something I entertain. The downside I have to that is like, I don't really want people just coming in for the chance of the giveaway entering and then not being interested in the stream at all. You know, like I want them, I want people interacting to have a chance to win, or the people that are here hanging out to have a chance to win. So I see both sides of it. Like I also understand that not everybody can hang out for the entirety of a stream. I need to chew on it a little bit more. But yeah, as of right now, you do need to be here. You do need to be here when we draw, which will be in 14 minutes. When you move, are you going to be getting a bigger laser than just a K40? So I am, shout out to the Polymaker Discord. Definitely shout out to the Polymaker Discord. So I'm definitely getting the K40. I've told Erin twice now, please do not let us leave the state without us going to my parents' house to grab the K40 from the garage and all of its goodies. Because I think I told you last time, but like I work at Lightburn. So like when I'm not doing 3D printing stuff, I'm doing laser stuff. And so I have been playing around with a bunch of diodes, and I recently got in a fiber laser that I'm playing around with. For anyone that doesn't know, Lightburn announced late last year that they're releasing Lightburn for Galdo, so fiber lasers with EasyCAD 2 boards are going to be compatible. So I got that in so I can make content on that for them. So I plan on using the K40 for both like personal projects, it's my K40, and stuff for work for like CO2 related things. But yes, I don't know that I'm going to get something massive, but I would like to get the next step up, which I think is like the K50, where it's a deeper bed, so you can have a manually adjustable Z, or I think if you want to add a motorized one, as well as a 50 or 60 watt tube instead. So the game plan is that once once we move and settle, which it'll be some months, that we'll have streams where we're playing around with different things. Like the 3D printing is certainly the emphasis, but like I want to have a stream where like we build or play around with CNC stuff, so that way there's learning, because I think a lot of people, maybe not as much, but like there's also interest in other forms of making. Like lasers and 3D printing are like cousins to me, maybe not quite, yeah, like cousins. And then CNC and 3D printing to me are like, well, they're like opposites, right? One of them's additive, one's subtractive. But yeah, I do really want a bigger laser, JP. And I told Erin that, and I think she rolled her eyes, or maybe she said, okay, I don't know. She wasn't thrilled, but she understood. I said, that's why we need more space. On your screen, it looks more orange now. Who's that? Oh, Pi? I can't really see it that well. 1 second. Where is my stream elements? Pi, thank you for the $10 super chat for the move. I appreciate it. We're getting closer. Erin, so I work remote, so I'm just going to be doing the exact same thing I'm doing, but from there with a like bigger studio for all the laser stuff, because doing these last 5 months since I've been working at Lightburn, I'm doing all the laser stuff in my living room. I do have a pretty awesome fume extraction system, but it's not ideal, not super safe, and so I'm excited for that. But yeah, Erin's actually about 30 days out from putting in her 2 weeks at work, because we're moving towards the end of July, beginning of August, and I want Erin to be able to have some relaxing time and maybe go visit her sister who moved to Arizona before we're much further away. And then also I'm gonna need her help with packing things and sort of figuring out things a bit more. So it's getting closer. It's getting close. I talked about it before, that like one of the big issues with the housing market right now is we're moving and we're renting for now, but it's going to be near impossible for us to, like, people keep asking, so did you know where you're gonna live yet? Or did you find where you're gonna live yet? There's nobody that's renting a house that is going to let me talk to them and say, hey, can you hold on to your house for 90 days and then we're gonna move out there and rent this house, if they're looking for someone to rent now, which is pretty much everybody. So more than likely what's gonna happen is we won't know exactly where we're gonna live until like 2 weeks before we drive away, because that's just how quick it is. Like the only way someone would hold on to a rental for me is if I'm paying for it, like I'm living there, but I can't pay, like I can't pay this rental and that rental or that rent at the same time. So it's gonna be interesting. I talked to my mom about it yesterday a little bit. She's like, oh, and I'm like, yeah, I know, but that's kind of the way things are right now. So it's going to go very, very quickly the next 60 days. And then I'm also going to Murph in about 35, 36 days. So there's also a lot of things happening between now and then, so it's gonna be nuts. I'm excited. Thank you again, Pi. Appreciate it. Embedded is mostly fine. It's cheaper and easier for the manufacturer, aka we pay less. More common blowing them up by not allowing your in and ear pin. Oh man, that's true. Yeah. It also eliminates error, because with the step stick ones, not all boards have them facing the same direction. So if you don't confirm the pinout on the step stick and the pinout on the slot on the board, and you put them in backwards and power on the machine, you can fry the driver or your board. So it also saves in that regard. I mean, granted, you can fairly easily check that, but things happen. You know, late night you're working on something, or you get distracted or whatever. The being able to edit a file to just adjust current is so much nicer. Yes, versus using a potentiometer. I had to put last week on the SKR Mini E3, 25% off. 25% off. Sorry, Salman, I'm behind. I don't know what that's in regards to. You're gonna pop a trim pot off your board? That's right. When we were building the Engravinator, I grabbed a screwdriver and I turned the potentiometer on it, and the potentiometer came off the board. I don't know how. Like, it must have been soldered on incredibly poorly, or I don't see how I could have done it. I was fairly gentle with it, and then I was able to reflow it back on, but it was pretty janky. And you could see it when it was running an engraving, that every once in a while it would have a hiccup and it would just draw like a random line that shouldn't be there and then continue. So yeah, that was a bummer. I don't think Polymaker does plastic spools at all anymore, Zeront. They completely swapped over. If there's plastic spools, that means it's old inventory or old photos. Hey, what's going on, tripods? Can I start over? Gosh, the dual front color looks nice. Yeah, the thing, I mean, granted, like, so obviously performance is number one, but nobody, like, come on, like, we're 3D printing, like, we like things that look nice. I mean, it's normal, everybody, it doesn't matter what, you know, what it is, whether it's a car, whether it's a couch, or what, you know, whatever, like things that work is great, but like, you also want things that look nice, and the Voron team definitely checked at both of those boxes where like they have things that work really well, but they also look really damn nice. Like they have a certain styling to them that's just really pretty looking. So, oh, I just got my micro Swiss extruder in today. Oh, which one, JP? The NG or the one of the older ones? 4010 blower. If you're moving to the Treasure Valley area, it's a super hot market there. Used to Nampa and bought our first house there 5 years after buying. It's estimated. Whew. Yeah, so we're not entirely sure where we're moving to. Well, we're moving to Idaho, and the two places we're looking at are Nampa or Idaho Falls, which are very far away from each other and quite different in terms of climate and what's around. Part of us moving is that like I want to be around way less people, and Idaho Falls is, I think from what I saw online, about an hour and a half away from Yellowstone National Park, which is awesome because I love the outdoors. And I think it's a couple hours north of Salt Lake City, which would be sick if I want to go snowboarding. And in itself, like there's a lot of, it's like right along Snake River, which I know a lot of different cities are. So it kind of just depends on like what pops up, what's available. We can only be so choosy considering how just crazy the market is here right now. Oh, I didn't realize you lived in actually Nampa, Pi. Oh, that's right, JP. Nice, yeah, I think it's the, I don't think it's the NG. I'm pretty sure it's the one before, but it's still the dual hardened steel direct drive all metal hot end one. That's awesome. I forgot you were the grand prize winner for that. Not anymore, we're now in Southern Oregon, move closer to, okay. Okay, we are going to be drawing in 55 minutes. Somebody said that the filament looks a bit more orange now that it's printed. I concur slightly, but I also think it's a lighting thing. I think that because I have the bright light hitting on here and the camera's doing some white balance adjustments, it looks a bit more orange. It still looks fairly red next to me. And then, sorry, Zarant, I missed your international side. That's interesting that they're still using plastic spools. I think that's temporary, though. They're definitely in the transition to all cardboard from every conversation I've had with them. How do you find Oregon, but it's worth being close to family. I'm in Post Falls, Idaho. North Idaho is better for snow. Yeah, so we're in Southern California right now, Roy, and so like the only snow we get is when I go visit. My parents have a cabin up in Lake Arrowhead, which is like an hour and a half, 2 hours away, and it's still not aggressive amounts of snow, but like where I've lived, I've never had snow. And so we want 4 seasons, but like I don't want to go like northern Idaho because of just how different, like how much snow in comparison it gets to like the Boise suburbs / even Idaho Falls, which from what I saw gets twice as much snow even there compared to like the Boise / Nampa / Meridian area. So I just like, I want to give us a solid chance of loving it. And I know that if the snow is absolutely just insane, like I think it might scare us. So I want to like sort of like at least ease into it all. But northern Idaho looks beautiful for hiking, camping, visiting. Like I've looked at videos and photos of it over the last year a lot. Yellowstone is the 4th largest super volcano in the world. Looks cool though. Oh wow. Yeah, talking about the sugar factory. Lisa, sorry, 55 minutes. What? 55 minutes. What? Oh, did I say 55 minutes? 5 minutes. Sorry, I think that the time said 1:55. We're giveaways in 3 minutes now. Yeah, Aaron had on a show the other day that was like showing Yellowstone and like the buffalo and the outdoors and stuff like that, and like it looks awesome. Oh, nice. Yeah, I have convinced my wife I need to enter 3 years to put it on. Just say, hey, I've got this awesome thing that, you know, it needs a printer to go onto, you know, otherwise it's a waste or so. I don't know. Good luck. I hope you win that conversation. That's awesome. Tripod's also received his Diamondback nozzle yesterday. Let me know how you like it. Again, I've been running the 0.4 on the LDO 0.1 now since basically the build, and it's been a really solid nozzle. So the amp is nice if you don't want snow in your house, but want to still enjoy it. Snow's always a short drive away, but rarely falls in the valley. Yeah, that's sort of what we saw, was that you'll still get that like little bit of snow, but it's not aggressive to the point where you're, you know, shoveling yourself out or anything like that. Yeah, if you have a Micro Center in Texas, JP, they have that coupon where you can get an Ender 3 Pro for $100. Yellow says nice, almost touches 3 states. The reason why there's no stealth burner is because I'm building it stock, and it wasn't, the parts they gave you were for a afterburner. And also, I don't want to build a stealth burner until it's in final release. And I explained it before, but like, I'm sure the stealth burner in its current state is fantastic. I know a lot of people are running it, and I don't even know that from the final version that was released during the open beta to what is going to be actually released will be very different. I just know myself in that if I build it in beta, the second it comes out in full release, I'm gonna wanna upgrade. And I just would rather wait until that time comes and just do it in one fell swoop and be like, cool, I've got Stealth Burner 1.0 installed on here. So that's my reasoning for it. I'm hoping it's sooner than later. I know that every stream Nero does now, someone asks him and he says when it's ready. So I don't know, is it days, is it weeks, is it months? I'm hoping it's not that long because I was planning on installing it on here with the ERCF when that's done, which I would imagine, you know, it will be a little bit, but not super far down the road. But yeah, that's the reason why I went with it initially. There's a Micro Center in Houston. She just let me order a Trotec Speedy Laser. Oh, nice. For $100, I doubt she'll even notice. Any idea where I can order a Diamondback nozzle in Europe? I don't know. What's the parent company called? Oh, we're gonna do the last minute warning for the giveaway. If you have not entered into the posted form, we're giving away a spool of Polymaker filament with global shipping, so make sure to do that. Let me check this. So the company is called Champion X, that's behind it. Buy now. Oh, it takes you to Amazon. That's a great question. I don't know. I don't know.
We will be moving in 5 or 6 years. We want more land and really do not want to visually see our neighbors. I have no clue what equipment I am bringing to MRRF this year.
Hey, thank you very much, Tripods, for the $10 super chat. For anyone that didn't hear that, he said garage fund, because I'm trying to even get, if I can even get half of a garage of what Tripod's garage currently looks like, which is freaking awesome, I'll be stoked, because I'm going from no garage, so it'll certainly be an upgrade, but Tripod's garage is like crazy decked out and is like an awesome looking spot. We're gonna be moving in 5 or 6 years. We want more land and really do not want to visually see our neighbors. I have no clue what equipment I'm bringing to Murph this year. Yeah, so since I moved out, like I lived at home until I was 23, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And then I moved in, I rented a room out of my buddy's house for a couple years. And then after that, it's been apartment to this, which is a condo. But again, I've got, you know, it's condo, so upstairs neighbor there and there. And I don't mind people, and I like people. I'm here talking to everybody. I like people, but like when I want to be, like when I want to be streaming, when I want to be meeting people and stuff like that, other than those times, I really like privacy. Like I like I'm big on nature. I love hiking. I love outdoors. I like peace. And so for me, like it's just not ideal. Like it's, yeah, we want the same thing. Like I want to be able to have trees around the property and a little bit of a gap. Like I was telling Erin that, because I was trying to get a feel for kind of what she wants. It's like, do you like need the suburban style house where it's like, you know, track homes? Like that's how my parents' house is that I was raised in my whole life, and how her parents' house is. Or would you be okay with more rural, or maybe like to get to the neighbor's house, you got to like walk a little bit or something like that. And so she seems open to whatever. But yeah, I'm in the same boat, and I'm also excited to see what you bring to Murph. I'm trying to put together a small Murph budget, because I know that there's going to be some goodies released there, or even just things that like maybe I've seen online for a long time that like it's there in front of me. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna pick one up. There, it's here in front of me. So, but yeah, I'm excited to see. Looking at all the video footage from Joel and Rapid today, it just like, it has me getting me really excited because I mean, I saw Nero pass by in the back. I saw Chuck from Filament Friday, who's an awesome guy. I love Chuck. I saw Prusa hopped on stage for a little bit, and then just like seeing everyone hanging out, I'm like, I miss it. I'm really, really excited. Yes, okay, let me draw. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry. I tend to get distracted, as we all know. Where is the giveaway form one last time? Sweet, we've got 50 responses. I'm going to be copying everybody's, oops, 1 second. All right. All right, so there should be 50. Yep, cool. I have found a way better way to do this. It took us like months of streaming to figure out a way to copy and paste the names much easier, but we got it. Okay, so we are giving away, as the wheel, I updated it, so it's accurate. We're giving away a spool of Polymaker filament. Everybody, good luck. The way this is going to work is that afterwards, depending on who you are, if I know you from Discord, I might just ping you on Discord, but if not, I will use your email and I will send you over a form. I'll send it tonight. I've got energy and plenty of things that I need to get done, and I'll add that to it. You'll get a form where you'll just basically put in the spool you want, the hex code color you want, and your address, and it'll submit it to Polymakers, awesome people over there, and they'll get it shipped out. So everybody, good luck. And with all that, 3, 2, and spin time. Kyle B. It looked like it was going to be KDM. This wheel is definitely tricky. Kyle B, are you in the chat? Kyle B's here, sick. Okay, I will contact you later on then, Kyle B. Let's do, everybody, let's do a little, one more time. There we go, congratulations to Kyle B. I will be getting a hold of you again. Just keep a lookout for an email to whatever email you submitted later on today, and then, yeah, Polymaker should be getting that taken care of. Trying to think. I feel like we covered most of the things like that I wanted to cover. Next week's stream, I'm pretty excited for. I can't really say exactly. We're gonna be looking at a printer. I can't say exactly what yet. Everyone should know Saturday because I have a video coming out, but it will be a lot of fun. It'll be sort of a hangout stream like this, but a little bit more interactive, where I'm going to be kind of like showing off the machine, answering questions. We'll do some printing and some other cool stuff. And then the following week, I promise you, we will start doing something technical. Either that will be the like unboxing and look at the ERCF and starting to assemble that, or we'll start taking apart the Voron 0.1 and doing some building on that. There's so much to do. I have like a couple printers here to unbox too, so I think that's sort of operation. Next week will be another hangout, but a bit more technical, a bit more involved, because we'll be taking a look at this machine, not this machine, but a machine. And then after that, we'll start the next technical thing, which will either be 0.1 or ERCF, and maybe we'll put it up to a vote to see which one goes first, or we'll flip-flop. Every other stream will be ERCF, Voron 0.1, to be TBD, I'm not entirely sure. Zaran, head to bed, have a nice rest of your stream. Good night, everyone. Hey, thanks for hanging out, Zaran. I know like it's late for you, and it's nice to see you hanging out. I appreciate you hanging out with us. I'm glad I didn't win because I think Alien would have killed me. We should do Ender 3 to Switchwire conversion. Yeah, so there's like, all right, I'll list out, let me have a little sip of this. There are a ton of 3D printer kits slash builds slash projects that I really want to do. The issue is multifaceted. It's time, because the builds take a lot of time, so I can't do them all at once. We have to pick and choose. Obviously, cost is a factor. Incredibly thankful for Rico for sponsoring the Switchwire and LDO for sponsoring the Switchwire and the previous Voron. So if we can get a company that's willing to sponsor it, then obviously we can do it. But otherwise, like the ERCF I purchased out of pocket, all the Voron 0.1 upgrades I purchased. So that's definitely a factor too, is funding the builds. But ideally, like I was talking to G Funny about a Micron. I think it'll be a lot of fun to build. Everyone seems really interested in the V minions, and it seems like an epic cantilever. So that would be a lot of fun. Of course, 2.4/Trident. Everyone, I've had multiple requests in chat for an Ender 3 to Switchwire conversion or an Ender 3 to belt printer conversion. So that's something I think that would be really fun. I think those are the main things. There's probably a few more that I'm forgetting, but those are probably the main things. Or just like regular mods, right? Like the King Room KP3S that we unboxed on stream 2 weeks ago, I would love to mod that on stream too, where we basically clipperize it, swap out the extruder in the hot end, add auto bed leveling, a bunch of stuff like that. So it's just like picking and choosing what we want to do next is the most difficult bed. Yeah, the Kirigami bed we do have, and we will definitely be installing. Ender 3 to belt printer seems awesome. Fabrico does carry those. So maybe it's something that we can make happen. I don't want to say too much until I get the green light from Fabrico, but we do have a pretty cool build planned that I need to actually get in contact with him and see if he has a time frame of when he wants to start it. But it would be a build of a printer, and then it would be being given away. The only downside, and I apologize to everyone because I know a lot of people in here are not, it'd probably be US only because it's a full machine that will be assembled and it will be being shipped assembled as far as I know. I don't think it's realistic to ship overseas due to the cost. So that's the only downside to that. But I think the build itself will be fun, and that in itself will be the main thing. But then again, I do plan on giving it away. I just think that one will probably have to be domestic. So yeah, the Ender 3 to belt printer kit seems pretty rad. It's not, I think it's $300, which isn't terrible. And it seems solid. Like the design behind it seems really cool. It's too much, it's too aggressive. Any other projects which aren't printers? Sorry, Rain, I missed that. I don't think until we move. Once we move, I want to dive in a bit more into CNC stuff. I've got the Carbide Nomad, which, because I've always lived inside of a place with a neighbor in a wall, I've only been able to do wood and acrylic. I really want to practice milling out some aluminum on it. But yeah, I would love to do a CNC build. So either like the mostly printed CNC, but the newest version of it, because I built it originally like 7 years ago, but couldn't do much with it because of space. So with a garage, either that or he released a new CNC machine. Yeah, so I could definitely see a CNC build being in the future. As far as other machines, there's also a DIY injection molding machine that looks freaking awesome that I would love to build. So there might be some other things as well. If there's this particular project that someone's interested in seeing covered that's not 3D printing, but is sort of incorporating 3D printing or DIY / making, let me know. I mean, if it doesn't, I mean, I'll at least consider it, you know? So I'm definitely not opposed to ideas because, you know, again, I like a lot of things and find a lot of things fascinating, and there's a learning experience from it all. So if it's something that you guys are all, you know, interested in, or there's interest in it, then I absolutely will at least add it to the list or take a deeper look into, you know, what the project is. Well, tripods, you know, tripods you have to have heard, right? Like, you know, I work for Lightburn, so I do a lot of laser stuff. Like, I've got, I think in this room right now, 6 diode lasers that I play around with for work-related things, and I just got a fiber laser in for work-related things, and then once I move, the K40 CO2 that I had modded previously will also be coming out of storage and coming back. So there will be lasers. I just don't know of very many DIY lasers other than the Engravinator one that we built. There's some open builds DIY CO2 lasers. I don't know if I feel like competent enough in that to do all of the manual alignment and building, but maybe. But yeah, no, I do a lot of laser stuff. When I'm not 3D printing, lately it's laser stuff. Lowrider 3 came out this week. Yes, that's what I saw, Luke. Ryan's awesome. Ryan is the creator behind the MPCNC, the Lowrider. He even has a 3D printer that I'd like to build. I think it's he had a bed slinger, and I think he made a Core XY. His company or his brand is V1 Engineering. Very cool stuff. I highly recommend checking out his website and looking at some of his projects. Lowrider 3 came out this week. I want to see if I can make tool drawers. Working converting my N3 Max to Switchwire. Working on parts, but looks promising. C Senior, which was in here earlier, who's active in the Modbot Army Discord, posted his CR10 to Switchwire conversion, and it is gorgeous. It is really nice. Applying that does G-code sound? Anything that does G-code sounds good. Okay, I read that wrong. Words, but yeah. You can consider an updated best mods series, an upgrade on Ender with linear rails, built in Z extruder. Maybe. I feel like, so maybe. I feel like that the video would probably do good, and I'm sure there's interest in it. I just feel, and I've always said that I think that it doesn't matter whether a video is made a bunch of times, everyone has their own perspective and the way they cover it, but that one has been covered so much that I'm not entirely sure. I have a list of videos I still want to make that's like 70 long right now, and that's not including any of the printers that are currently being reviewed or active new products coming out. These are just like ideas like the video topic I recently did on, is 3D modeling a requirement to 3D printing? That's not exactly the title, I don't think, but like that style ranty discussion video, I have tons of those and project videos. So I brain farted on where I was going with this. Considered best. Oh, so yeah, it's hard for me, I think I will prioritize those probably over that, but maybe. There seems to be a lot of interest in an Ender 3 to Switchwire conversion, so I'd be lying if I said that I won't possibly consider that as well. Again, if that's what the people want, then it might be something I need to do, and I'm sure I'd have fun with it. I'm sure I'd have fun with it as well. But you still have tripods. You still have your fiber laser, right? The one that the Kickstarter that you got, and then you had issues with the board, and then you got it all working, right? That's still fine. Would you consider a laser machine by chances? Yeah, I would consider a laser machine, but which, like a retail machine or a project? Because if there's a project that's got decent documentation or a pretty good following, I'd certainly be interested. We did the Engravinator, which was a small, fully enclosed diode engraver. But yeah, I mean, if there's some cool, I actually have this. This is a very weird thing to have in front of you for no reason. Watch, I'll show you guys this. If you ever wondered if I was strange, this is by my legs. The source of how this came about is interesting, but yeah, I have a brand new 40-watt CO2 tube that's been in my living room for like 6 months. So if there's a project that I can use this in, I will use it. So yeah, I'm not against it. It needs good documentation. A lot of what I've been focusing on the last 5 months or so at Lightburn has been diode lasers, because I can use them in my living room and fairly easily exhaust them. But once we move, I will bust out the more aggressive lasers for some projects and stuff like that. I always forget that I have that here, and then I'm looking around like, oh yeah, I have a CO2 tube in my freaking living room. Will a Lightburn bridge work on a Raspberry Pi 0W? That's a good question. I don't know, because the bridge is only for, DSP machines with, oh God, why can't I think of what the, one second. Documentation, online store, which software do I need? Ruida. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. The word gets thrown around nearly daily at work. Yeah, so it's only meant for DSP controllers or DSP machines using Ruida controllers. And we also haven't had them for a bit because Pis have been so hard to stock that we just haven't had them in our shop. So I would say it's definitely not designed for a Pi Zero. Could it theoretically? I think you would need an Ethernet port, because it connects via Wi-Fi and then over Ethernet, if I'm not mistaken, into the machine or the controller. So I'm gonna go with no. But I won't say, nothing's impossible if you know what you're doing and have the right adapters and stuff like that. But I don't think natively it will work, no. Do you have 3D printed shark head covers for your lasers? Shark's a laser figure. Oh, Steve Senior is here, cool. I need to get my Arc Droid CNC Plasma unboxed. Oh my God. Was that a Kickstarter thing too? Tripods? I've not seen a single belted Z. Wait, single belted Z. This is a belted Z. I mean, it's a Core, you mean like not a Core XC, but just a, like it just used belts. So similar to like, I guess how the Lulzbot Mini. It doesn't use linear rails though. They're using, I think they're using IGUS bearings and, let's see. Store, 3D printers. Oh, even their new ones look like they are the sidekicks, right? Really? You can't make the image bigger than that? Wow. So, interesting. If I had a product, if I was trying to sell a product, I would make it a little bit easier to see. Okay. Well, I can see that there's belts. So these are Z-driven, belt-driven, and not in a Core XC way, but just straight up down. But they are not linear rail. They're, oh, these ones use V-slot. Okay, so these use V-slot, but I think that on the Mini 2, did they get rid of it? No. Okay, so Mini 2 is belt-driven. Oh, maybe there was a zoom button on the other one. Am I? Okay, there is no zoom button on this one. I was like, is it user error? Because I would not be surprised. Okay, so if we look at this, this one has belted Z on both sides going straight up and down, but it uses smoother rods, not linear rails. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know of any either, actually, now that I think of it. Hey, what's going on, Asker? Sorry I missed you. Hell, even converting Kevin Casman's belt mod might be cool. It's a really cheap mod. Oh, covering. I don't think I've seen that. 1 second. Let me copy it. Sorry, my allergies are starting to come back. Okay, I searched it, so I'll look into it a little bit more after. I hadn't heard of it, Zombie. There's some K40 to laser Gerbil videos out there. Yeah, my K40 is running a Cohesion 3D smoothie board, so that way I can use it with Lightburn. I didn't like using the stock software, or K40 Whisperer was okay, but still incredibly limited compared to Lightburn. I'm making a belted Z for my CR10 right now. Nice. Looks like a bit of an oversight. The Ender 3 belted Z conversion is a bit different and supports, oh, interesting, one motor. There you go, unique content. Just got home from work. Nice, I hope you had a great day. Happy Wednesday, happy hump day. Mr. Mod of the Bot. Hey, what's up, Dutch? Happy hump day. I don't know, is it still Wednesday where you're at? I think it's late night, right? I've not heard anything good about the new management of Lulzbot, but they have big shoes to fill, so we should give them a few years. Yeah, I haven't heard much good either. I don't have much opinion on it. Like, Lulzbot, so I had never been exposed to Lulzbot prior to working at Matter Hackers, and when I got the job there, the Taz 6 was out and had been out for some years, and it was a pretty solid looking machine, but then not a whole lot came out after. And then they released the Workhorse, which was sort of really hyped up, but it ended up being incredibly similar to the Taz 6. Like, it didn't have, to me, as much of a difference considering how many years had passed. And then the Pro seemed okay, but like it was also $5 grand, I think. So they have a tough role. Like, I want to give them credit. Like, so Lulzbot was fully open source before. It was like they bled open source. And I think that once the conversion happened, I haven't followed it nearly as much. I would imagine that things previously are open source. I don't know about new developments. Clearly the previous business model wasn't as sustainable as outwardly appeared. I don't know the full story behind it, behind exactly what happened. I just know that there was a ton of layoffs. It seemed like companies closing their doors and they were bought out. But the thing is that it's tough. It's tough. Like, the market is so demanding right now, and like you've got such a influx of low-cost 3D printers that sort of fill that niche. And then once you get to like the $600–700 range, everyone tends to lean towards Prusas. And so Lulzbot didn't really have much other than the Mini to compete in that price range. And then they released a Sidekick, which is closer to price range of the Prusa, but still a bit more expensive. And I just don't think that it's really tough to compete with the Prusa at that price point for a similar printed style machine. So I think competition's great. I think US manufactured 3D printers is great. I like having options and stuff like that, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. The Sidekicks seem, I know that Greg's Maker Corner has a Sidekick. Speed, oh no, what? I can't names right now. I know a couple people that have the Sidekicks. Let's just do that. And they seem to really like them. I think the components and quality seem great, but they're also pretty expensive. Like I think if you want to get it with like a good tool head, I think they're around 1,500 bucks. Let's actually just kit one out for fun. So if we go 3D printers, there's two sizes, right? So there's this one, oops, there's this, oh, come on. So this is the 289, which has a build volume of 162 mil, so under 7 inches, under 7 inches, under 8 inches. So fairly small printer. Then you have the 747, which has 9 inch by 9 inch by 9 inch. So a bit bigger, but still not massive. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't think either of these come with a tool head. So like, let's say if we wanted to keep it as cheap as possible, we go with this, starts at 1085. You can pick your color, so we'll do, actually I think I like the black on green a bit more. 795, Lulzbot recommended, wait, full configure, okay, so, oh, can you get tool head? Never mind, so it is 1085. Then you can get an extended warranty if you want, which again is cool for schools or manufacturers. Okay, so 1085. So it is a little bit less than I thought for the complete thing. But again, you have to remember, this is the tiny one. So the build volume on this is not big, and you're spending, you know, $1,085, or you can get like a Prusa MK3S Plus for the same price, fully assembled with a bigger build volume. You know, so, and like the Sidekick's new, like Lulzbot's not new, but the Sidekick is fairly new. It uses V-slot wheels, while the MK3S Plus has been out for years now and has really proven itself to be a reliable workhorse. So, I don't know, it's, they're trying to be the Prusa of the US. Yeah, I sort of agree with that. I would say that's pretty valid. Also, Prusa has now entered the US. Like, Prusa has entered the chat with Printed Solids acquisition, so it's going to be even tougher for them now to really, I think, capture that market. One second here. Prusa updated the whole experience, so it was all worth my time. Normally you had to install different type of firmware. Somebody else will not really include this firmware. Oh, nice. Cool. Yeah, Dutch updated or reinstalled the MMU2S. I guess Prusa did a major overhaul to it. That's awesome. I was debating on getting the MMU2S, but I think that the Enraged Rabbit carrot feeder is going to fill that void for me, and I'm going to leave the Prusa just as is. It's been so good stock that I just kind of want to let it do its thing. Just when I bought it, the purpose of it was to just not mod it and see what the experience is like for, you know, intended to be like. But that's awesome. I mean, it's weird with the MMU system. I seem to see both sides of it, where either people say it's terrible and it's Prusa's worst product and doesn't do what it's supposed to, or I see people making absolutely beautiful prints with it that seem to have that thing just working greatly. So I don't know if it's just a calibration thing, if it's a QC thing, if I don't know what it is, but it seems that seems to be the product with the most hit or miss feedback out of their entire lineup. A lot of people entered the 3D printing space in 2020, including myself. Yeah. I can't believe you've only been in it since 2020, 760. From our conversations, like, it feels like you've been in it for a long time. The light speed, okay, thank you. For some reason I wanted to say speed, I remembered that part of it, and I can picture the blue lightning bolt with the white. Yeah, he's one of the main people I've seen using it, and I think he has a fully kitted out one with like the slice engineering hot-end and stuff like that, and so I'm not saying that's not a fantastic setup, but what I am saying is that at that price point, it's a tough sell. It's a tough sell compared to what else is out there. it's not, you know, again, it's not me saying that the product isn't a good product, but compared to what you got out there, it's like, how do you sell it over this other item that seems to perform nearly as well, but it's $500 less, or, you know, that's sort of the biggest thing. Good kitty. All right, it's good and it's both. It's good and bad. Smaller than the Prusa Mini at more than twice the price. What a deal. Yeah, exactly. It's just like, how do you like, and I'm not saying that like they can't sell them, because I'm sure that they have their reasoning, and I'm sure there are pluses. Like, you know, I know Lulzbot does a lot of stuff with the military in the United States because they're US made and military's big on US made printers. And I'm sure they're able to, you know, offer in-person trainings and certain levels of unique support that Prusa just can't, because up until a printed solid, they haven't had that footprint. So there are those certain things that they can do, but for the sake of like a hobbyist or your average consumer that prints for fun or for little projects here and there, like, it's a tough sell. It's a tough sell. You know, I'd love to hear the pitch. I would love to hear the pitch about this over that, you know. Oh crap, I just saw that one side. Let's see. It is, if it's working, you're having a good time. If it's not working, you're having a terrible time. That seems to be, Dutch, exactly what I've seen. The feelings about the MMU2 are the most like, intense, where it's not like, yeah, it's okay. It's either, I hate it and it's never worked for me, or look at this beautiful creation. Like they're very extreme emotions towards it. That seems to definitely be the feeling I've seen. 760, I dove in head first. You absolutely did. And it's awesome. It's awesome to see what you've been doing with it. I was talking to Aaron actually. I don't know how the conversation came up, to be perfectly honest with you. I think that, a song might have come on, like AC/DC, Thunder, and I might have air guitared. And then she said something about Guitar Hero, and then it made me think of you and what you're doing. And so I was telling her, I was like, yeah, there's a guy in the Discord that makes custom Guitar Hero guitars, and Aaron loves it. So when we do have more space too, I would like to do like a full-size cabinet with at least 2, you know, sticks and buttons for me and her to play games. And then I would love to see if there's some sort of a way to emulate or run an open source, some sort of version that's similar to Guitar Hero. So might have to ping you on that to see like what your recommendation would be, because I am not great. Like my hand-eye coordination kind of sucks in general, but my pinky just doesn't. The pinky doesn't work very well, and so I always have a hard time with the far button on the Guitar Hero. But I would have a fun time playing with Aaron and her friends. Halfway finished with the layer fused X301. Is that the super flexible filament? What is the layer fused X301? Oh wait, what is that? Whoa, okay. That's new. See, I mean, I haven't seen this. Open Design Core XY. That's cool. It looks very low profile, like solid base for the electronics, but the upper extrusions almost reminds me of like how the Prusa is going to be, the XL, in terms of like having this sort of front beams punch out like that. This is cool. I haven't seen this. You have given me, thank you. I have a mod to look at now, and I have a completely different project to look at. Very cool. Let's see, what else did I miss? You've seen the new Prusa enclosure. I did, Dutch. I think I saw that you ordered it. I think you posted on Twitter. I was super, super excited about it, honestly, because the video, Prusa does a great job. Their freaking hype videos or release videos are so good. But the pricing is really tough for me to justify. And I think I talked to Nero about this on stream or off stream. But I saw that Prusa had stated that the reason for the cost is that sourcing is much more expensive on raw materials. And I do get that, but it still seems pretty heavily marked up. However, with Prusa sort of expanding now with the XL and kind of what they're doing, their market or their product range is not anymore just towards hobbyist slash entry level slash, I guess the MK3S I wouldn't say is entry level, more like kind of prosumer, but still like, it's like that sweet spot. So I think that as much as I think that they're still going to stay true to their roots and at least have a ecosystem that's still, the sub $1,000 or $1,000 range, like they're also not as concerned anymore to release products that might not be for everybody. And I think it starts at what, $350, and with all the upgrades, it's like $700. And so I have a hard time justifying it from my point of view, considering like, for me, like that $350 would be better spent on like 2 muscle racks that I can fill out with a bunch of printers. But all of that being said, if we remove the price from the equation, the actual design of it seems awesome. There is a lot of thought that went into it. I posted that it looks like no corners were cut, and then someone said, but the corners are cut, because it has a corner, and then there was a GIF of a drum. Design looks great. It looks like it does a lot of awesome stuff. I'm sure people are going to love it. I just wish the price was less. From my point of view, I don't think it's going to be nearly as accessible to as many people because of the starting price point on it. But yeah, the design of it looks great, and I'm sure it's going to function very, very well. US government contracts require a high percentage of made in the USA or, but yeah, exactly. Yep. Absolutely. Dies. Dude, I wanted to make an arcade cabinet for so long. It's funny, I say 7.6 every time. I might just start calling you 7, because anyways, one of the first projects I ever did with Fusion 360 that I was proud of was this little guy. This was like fully designed by me, and my goal with it was just, I wanted a full-size stick and buttons, but I didn't have the space for something so big. And so I designed this. It's Raspberry Pi, Adafruit bonnet, speaker mount, and it had the ability to be plugged into an external screen, and because of the Pi having Bluetooth, you could hook up also like a PlayStation controller, so me and my buddy were able to play like 2-player games, and I was like so excited and so proud. But I've always wanted a full-size cabinet. Somebody dumped a cabinet years ago when I owned a truck, and I grabbed it, I picked it up, I put it in the back of the truck, brought it home, and it sat in my parents' garage for like 2 years because there was nowhere to put it, and our garage has never been a place of like hang out at my parents' house. It's like where the dog hangs out a lot, and it's not nearly like, it's not like a tripod's garage style garage where it's a nice garage. It was very like, kind of, it's where your gardening tools are kept. But I absolutely want a full-size cabinet. Or I did see, there was a show I was watching with Aaron the other day, which I'm pretty sure was like a 90-Day Fiancé type thing or something like that, where in one of the episodes, this guy had a game room, and it was basically a full-size cabinet from the like waist up, but it didn't have the whole base, and it was wall-mounted, which I thought looked super sleek. I don't think we'll probably do that in the place we rent for the next year, but it looked really awesome not having that bottom space, because I would imagine they probably used a Pi or something like that. But like from the top up, it was the full cabinet experience with the little marquee, with the light and the graphic on the side. So yeah, it's very much so on my bucket list of awesome things. I want to be able to play The Simpsons, beat 'em up arcade game, Gauntlet Legends, NFL Blitz, lots of other things. But yeah, it's awesome. It's open course. Prusa XLs reminded me of what Joel did to his Ender. Very much so. Very much so. Yeah, the enclosure is definitely marketed towards existing farm owners. Yeah, I mean, I was doing the math, and like, Joel, I think, has like 24 printers in total, Prusas, and so I'm like, dude, at $30 a pop, 10 of them, is math. $300 times 10, $3,000, plus the extra $50 of $3,500 times that by 2, $7,000. I mean, we're talking $8,000 roughly. I mean, that number's probably quite off. It might even be north of that, but like $8,000 for enclosures is just like, whew. Or, get 10 more printers. Prusa Mark IIIs, granted, if you get other printers, you can get even more than that. So, not saying it's not worth it for some. Sure, it'll do great. I hope it does great. The product seems like it was well thought out, but like, it's for a certain, it's for the classroom, it's for the government that, like money doesn't matter. They've got their, it's just not, hey, do you want to add this $200 enclosure? Why did you even ask? Of course, add it. Like, it's for that customer, which is fine. Like, there's an audience for that. But yeah, for me, it's just like, oof. Coming from and I know, again, it's not trying to compete with the lack enclosures, but coming from the guy that built lack enclosure, or, you know, I guess these aren't enclosed, but the one I had that was, like, it was very inexpensive. So it's just a hard justification. But yeah, I'm sure it'll do great, and it looks awesome. Just the price. It's pick and choosing. Yeah, sorry, I'm falling behind in chat. I do that when I rant. I enjoy ranting a lot, and hopefully everyone does too. Everyone keeps showing up every week, so hopefully the conversation's enjoyed. But I definitely lose my train of thought, and then all of a sudden I'm like, hey, I was here, now I'm somewhere over here. I should probably come back to this direction. It's like a normal Core XY without all that pesky rigidity. Did you hear about their new medical resin printer? Woo! No. No, I have not. I mean, they bought the Delta company, which the Delta company seemed like it was marketed towards industrial. There's nothing wrong with going both. Like if a company wants to succeed, like they need to like think about expansion, and they've done their all the different Mark III, Mark IIIs Plus, Prusa Mini, and I'm sure that they are going to come out with Mark IV or Prusa Mini V2 or whatever. But if they're able to maintain that while expanding, I don't see anything wrong with that. It's a company, and their ultimate goal is to make profit. And if they see a sector that's got, possibility for growth and more profit for the company, like they have to go that route, or they don't have to. They're a privately owned company, but it makes no sense to them not to try to expand if they think that they have the ability and the resources to capitalize on that, Can you imagine that? 300 is quite a lot. I bought it mainly because I have a kit now and I'm kind of really enjoy throwing my spools off its rollers. Yeah, no, again, like I get it. And even if I just had like my Prusa MK3S Plus and like that was my printer and I wasn't doing all the other Voron stuff, like maybe I would justify it because I'm like, no, this is the one printer that treats me well, that I use for everything, and I want to get a nice enclosure for it that has, their integration with whatever they might have coming for it down the road. So yeah, again, I'm sure it's going to do well because everyone's situation is different, and I've stressed for a long time that like 3D printing is meant for everybody, but it's also, each 3D printer is not meant for everybody. The technology, like depending on your needs and your budget and it's really it, needs and budget, I guess. There are so many options, and that's why it's amazing, because it would be really boring, in my opinion, if it was just one printer and this is the printer that every single person has. Granted, there's big communities around, printers like the Prusa, the Ender, the Voron now, like, it's growing. But like, I think that it'd be so boring if it was just one style of printer. So I like having all the different options and stuff. So that way, there's diversity and there's just, it's what keeps it fresh and fun to me, is that there are so many different printers and so many different mods and directions and upgrades and ways of doing things, and it's all up to you. What is right for you? What is it that you want, so. Garden tools get kicked out of my I am very late in chat, I think, because I just see tripods thing. Giveaway is still pinned. Thank you very much. It is now unpinned. Printed solid enclosures are decent and quite a bit cheaper. It's also made from a fire-resistant aluminum foam hybrid sheet. Yeah, I've seen printed solids that they make in-house, and they're pretty solid. Even the Prusa, the Lightspeed also had that one. It was like the Prusa print box, which I thought that was kind of pricey, but that is less expensive than the Prusa enclosure and has some of the, like at least one or two of the premium upgrades. So, but again, having options is great. If you want the OEM from Prusa, go that route. If you want the print box, go that route. If you want printed solids, cool. If you want, there's not a right or wrong. It's totally up to you. And maybe, yeah, I'm ranting a lot about this, but I'm glad that there's a lot of different options available. Right now I got a Prusa Mini and MK3S Plus. I want to get the XL once I move. I'm not sure how big of an apartment I would get. Aiming for an apartment in Sednas, or at least. Do you have an ETA, Dutch, of when you're planning on moving? Positron V3 was announced today that will be open source. Ooh, that's amazing. Someone posted the Positron in the Discord. I did not know that it was getting open sourced and all that. I hope that he works. I hope that he sources kits for it. But if not, I mean, I guess being able to source, that's sick. Okay, man, I have so many things to research after all this. Let's take a quick look at how print's going. I really hope Prusa does a smaller version of the XL, just a smaller core. I don't know that they will. Maybe. I just don't know. Based off of their pricing on it, I have a feeling that if they do a smaller version of it, it would still be like $1,500 starting. So maybe like a $500 difference. I have the 2.4 on nope. Alien got me confused. I have the Prusa XL on pre-order, just the either single or dual head, but I probably will get all the tool heads. And honestly, the primary reason is for exploration and content. Like, I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of demand to see content on it, and so I want to be able to provide content. I also am very interested in tool changing, and the only reason why I haven't purchased a E3D tool changer so far is that as much as I love building and configuring things, it's such an open platform. Like, they don't call it a 3D printer. I was also talking to Nir about this. They call it like a test platform or something along those lines. It might be a bit more than I'm willing to chew in terms of what I want to, but there's a lot of awesome, insane stuff you can do with it, and I'm really curious to see like tool changing technology, and I do think that if there is somebody that's going to make it in a fairly easy to use package, it's probably Prusa with their ecosystem and what they know how to do well. So we'll see. We'll see. Jubilee looks awesome. I'm part of the Jubilee Discord. My biggest gripe with Jubilee is that there's not more content on it. A lot of the videos on Jubilee are 3, 4, that might be a little bit of an exaggeration, like 3+ years old though, and there's not a whole lot of content on it, and it makes me sad. I joined the Discord because I wanted to see more info on it, and there is a lot more info in the Discord, which is great, you know, but I wish there was more like content out there about it. Hey, I didn't say this once this stream, which is my bad, but if you have not, please hit the like button. It definitely helps support the channel and the growth of the channel and all that stuff. So yeah, if you have not, that is the only thing I ask. Please hit the like button. It definitely helps out. Okay, so Jubilee. For anybody that does not, wait, why did that? Jubilee must be something else as well. Or I can't spell. No, I can spell. It's something else as well. Okay, so this is the Jubilee. But yeah, if you look like, oh, I guess there's one there. Most of the content I saw that was quite old, like years old. So it's a tool changing system that looks awesome. When I was debating doing the E3D tool changer, the Jubilee was actually what I was looking at as an alternative option to that. And the project seems rad. It really does. And I think it would be a ton of fun to build. I'm just not, I just haven't pulled the trigger yet. But it does seem like a very cool, I kind of want to just see, well, I guess there's a lot of audio going on, but, okay, so there it goes. Okay. Hold on. So it's parking, it's unloading it, it's grabbing it, or it's inserting, I don't know what it's doing right now. Maybe it's heating up. I don't know if it cools down. I don't really know. It's grabbing it. And it's continuing. So, and you can do more than 2, like, let's see, Jubilee printer. I do think it's a very cool project. I think, again, I wish there was more coverage on it. But then it's like, I guess like looking in the mirror, right? It's like, but you make content, why can't you be the coverage that you want to see on it? But yeah, the Jubilee seems very cool. There's actually quite a bit of content in here on it. So it's pretty rad looking. Man, I missed a lot. He said he won't be manufacturing, but I hope he can help to put the kits together. I'm sure someone in the community can help. Yeah, absolutely. I'm learning Norwegian right now, which is a must to be able to live in Norway and trying to find a job there. How's it, oh, I mean, I know you type in English. How's your English, Dutch? I don't know how Norway's education system is, but like I know Sweden, everybody, like, cause I know very little Swedish. I can say like, hey, humodu, and vada bratak, and I used to chase my little cousin around last time I visited and said, "Akomi atare," which is, I'm coming to get you. So I know like a little bit, but everyone in Sweden spoke English that I met. Like my mom basically explained it to me that like Swedish is almost taught at home. They learn it in school, but they learn English in like elementary school. And then once they get to middle school or high school, they learn a third language. So my mom knows Swedish, English, and German from high school. So is it that difficult that, is English not something that most speak there? I'm not saying it's not a good idea to learn it. I'm just saying that I was able to do a pretty good job when I visited my family because thankfully most there spoke English, and I got okay at understanding some common Swedish dialect. He said he went manufacturing, I'm learning Norwegian. The position creator, the positron creator said he can't source kits but hopes for the other. Okay, cool. I would love to see LDO hop on that. I just watched the video today. It looks like an amazing printer. It's just making and sourcing, yeah, making and sourcing the parts. How much of the parts for the positron are custom, like other than 3D printed or sourceable parts? Is there a lot of it that requires custom machining or no? Jubilee is also, okay, I saw that. That is what I call a motion system. Positron is really cool idea. I'm hoping it won't be too hard to create the parts and assemble. It makes things easier. Most people speaking, oh, Maker. Wait, yeah, Maker, you're in Norway, right? Yeah, okay, so it could be that too, because my mom is under, wait, maybe she's not. No, my mom's not, she's over. Damn, time goes by quick. Time goes by quick. I'm building a oh, the black box. I hadn't heard of the black box until DC started talking about it recently. Black box also looks super cool, and I had not heard of it until, man, when did I talk to DC? 2 weeks ago now, or so? So yeah, black box looks also very cool. Hadn't heard of it until recently. There's just so many things happening, which is amazing. I do wish there were longer, more in depth. Hitting the like button now. Awesome, you are awesome, Roy, thank you. Like Jubilee as well. Yeah, Jubilee looks sick. Here in Netherlands, you learn Dutch, then English in elementary. Yep. So same as Sweden. Why did my mom learn German? That's a great question. I don't actually know why she chose German. I'm sure she had a reason. There was one time, quick little sidetrack story time. Let me drink some water actually. I poured this thing, I was like, this is a small cup, I'll be able to drink the whole thing while the stream's going, but clearly I have not. So, when me and my family, we used to go camping every summer in Big Sur, which is Northern California. It's beautiful, a completely different world than down here. It's basically redwoods and pine trees, and it's beautiful. And we used to go camping there every year for a week during summer. And one of our trips up there, we were driving along the coastline, and this motorcycle drove by us, and a car hit the motorcycle, and the people on the motorcycle, I don't remember full details, and I don't know if I saw the crash. Physically, they were okay from what I remember. Shooken up, of course, when any motorcycle crash, you're going down like on a bike. Physically okay, like, I mean, no, like, I don't want to be graphic, but like nothing visibly, you know, severely wrong. But obviously they were shaken up. I don't remember how the bike's condition was. They were German, and they were from Germany, and they were visiting California, and did not speak English. And the German that my mom learned in high school 30 or 40 years ago was enough for her to talk to them, ask them if they were okay, see if there was any help she needed or anything that she needed to provide for them. So that was really cool to see. And even if she never uses German again in her life, I would say knowing it and being able to help that older couple, or you know, the couple that they were older that was visiting, was well worth it. But yeah, I don't know the reason why. And that's the only time I've ever seen my mom speak German. And it's not very good German. Again, it's been 30 plus years since she learned it, but it was very cool to see her be able to use it to help someone here in the States. Like, just such a random thing, right? It was really cool. Hey, Carl's here. Everybody say hi, Carl. Yeah, okay. My parents are actually going to Sweden in 3 weeks to visit family. They haven't gone in years. It used to be my mom would go every other year, and then her mom would visit every other year. But because my grandma has gotten older, we call her more. She's got more health issues and heart issues going on, so traveling isn't so possible anymore. And because of the pandemic, my mom hasn't gone, so she's going, and she's going to visit because they're in Sweden. Then my godmother's in, why can't I think, my brain every time I stream it starts to stop working a little bit. She is in Switzerland, thank you, brain. And then my uncle is in France, so they're going to visit those different places to visit family, but yeah. I don't know where I was going with that. The hot end bed and med mounts are custom as far as I can tell. Okay, so they will need some. I am going to end the stream momentarily. I'm streaming for a bit more. We've still got probably another hour on this printed part, but I have Chipotle left over in the fridge. It's like totally calling my name, and the idea of grabbing some Chipotle and just sitting for a little bit sounds great. I thought today's stream was gonna be quick. I knew it was gonna be like a fun hangout, show and tell, talking about stuff type stream. I initially had thought it was gonna be 2 hours, but I should know better that every time I stream, like I always get really excited, and then a conversation starts, and then it just goes on. Let's see. Oh man, I speak Canadian American and Chicago. Funny. We're talking now. Yeah, no, I know. I meant voice talking. It was last time I voice called you. Danish here. Norwegian language is difficult, but once you understand its structure, it'll be easier to understand. German here with English as second. Oh, cool. And Japanese, oh, that's so cool. Japanese is awesome. Japan is on my bucket list of places I'd love to visit. Better late than never. Hello all. I'm off, going to sleep. Awesome. Thank you for dropping by, Asker. Have a wonderful night's sleep. Yeah, I think we will probably call it soon here. I'm definitely feeling like I can use a little bit of a rest. I was up pretty late editing, and I'm gonna edit for probably 4 or 5 hours today as well. So heads up again, next week will be sort of another hangout stream, but we're checking out a printer. That's all I can say right now. Details will be posted on Saturday at some point. I'm really excited. It'll be like today, but more interactive in the sense that I will be answering questions, and we'll be picking more models to print and throwing different materials at it. It'll be a ton of fun. And then between next week and the following week, what we're likely doing is starting the V0.1 mods that we took a look at in the box today that we got in from Fabrico, or the ERCF will be here by that time. I purchased it yesterday and got, tracking from Fabrico. So we'll start the next technical mod / build at that point, which will be a ton of fun. So as always, thank you everyone so much for hanging out. If you haven't, please hit the like button. It's awesome always seeing everybody's face. Thank you to Pi and to Tripods for the donations. It really helps support the channel, and I really appreciate it. And gosh, is there anything else? Yeah, thank you everybody for hanging out. I hope you have an amazing week, and I will see. Is there anything? I feel like I'm forgetting to say something else. What am I forgetting? What should I be doing? No, I think that covers everything. All right, everybody. Oh, I will post a photo of this finished print a little bit later on when it's all said and done. And I think that's it. Who is this DC person you speak of? Yeah, thank you everybody. Have a wonderful week, and I will see everybody hopefully next Wednesday. All right, bye everybody.